You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
Round and around Serpentis.
The wasteland is a post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, frozen atomic waste. From deep within the core, frozen atomic waste.
Hello and welcome to the 445th edition of the Fallout Feed. I am Andrew, joined by a flock of my favorite Fallout folks. Tonight, we've got Ray. What's up, Ray?
Hello, hello.
And Jess. Hey, Jess.
Hey, Andrew. Greets, everybody.
What's the word, y'all? Tonight on the show, we have got our gameplay off the top, as per the usual. Also, some iguana bits coming up this year in Fallout and Bethesda. For game time, I've got a little bit of something I've prepared entitled Helter Shelter.
Ooh, wait.
What?
Shelter? I didn't catch that part of it.
Helter Shelter? You didn't catch that?
I didn't catch that it said shelter. I thought it was Helter Skelter. Ooh.
All right, so we'll roll into that. And Jess has prepared a little bit of a conversation we'll get into that I think we did last year, I know, maybe the last couple of years, gaming resolutions. What are we going to get into in the new year? What do we want to change about our gaming habits? What do we want to keep doing? What do we do that's good in the gaming world? We'll get all into it in our gaming resolutions. Reddit LOL. I'm excited to see what you're laughing out loud about, Reddit, Jess.
People.
A couple of shouts on our way out the door. People are starting to hit scorecation for this season, which is, Jess, remind us, 12, 13? What are we on right now?
Oh, the actual season number?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I think it's 15.
15 already? Look at us.
15. Casino, big score. 15.
Get our learner's permit soon. We can start driving next year. Great. All right, so let's roll right into it. Let's get into our gameplay. Hey, Ray, did you get a chance to play any video games this week, sir?
I did indeed.
What'd you play?
So my Starfield very hard character was getting way too easy. So it was level, I think, 30 when I quit. And that character, I was dumping everything into the tech tree. So
Yes.
I didn't have any perks in any tree
Combat.
other than tech.
So you weren't like good at combat or anything. You didn't even have a jetpack.
No, jetpack
Oh,
is in tech.
is that in tech? Okay.
Yeah, that's in tech. So and I'm in love with the tier 4 jetpack skills.
I'm finally putting points in there. Which
Oh my
one's the
gosh, they're
best?
so
Is
much
it
fun.
the hover or?
No, it's being able to attack somebody on the other side of a wall.
Like
So-
Is that the 4th level or just being able to get high enough to do that?
The
penetrator?
The first level, you can you set them on fire, and the second level, you set them on fire and knock them
Knock
down.
them back. Yeah, those are the 2 I have so far.
Yeah, and so you can do that through a wall.
Oh, I guess I
So-
didn't know that.
If you look at your character when you boost, you'll see a little circle spread out from your character. If you're standing next to a wall and you do that boost and somebody is within the circle on the other side of the wall, they'll take damage. And so killing people without them ever being able to see you is, one of my favorite things.
That is pretty brilliant. It's like that's like the end game of how much you love playing sneaky characters.
Yes,
If
indeed.
you
Mm-hmm.
if you are in sneak and you take off in your jetpack, are you still in stealth mode? Or does lifting off automatically take you out of that?
It takes you out of hidden, but it doesn't necessarily put you in danger. It just puts you in caution.
It depends on the amount of noise, perhaps.
Well, and yeah, and the where you're at, where the line of sight is.
Well, that should be level 5 or level 6, right? It's stealthy jetpack, silent pack.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That would be nice. I mean, we get the gravitic compounds, we get all the things to make our stuff actually stealthier. Plus the stealth rework they did to make stealth a little better too, because those first 2 months, it was rough. Now even I can stealth somewhat, and I'm not Ray.
Yeah.
And there's
Sneaky
2 really
Jess.
easy Varun magazines to get
Mhm.
to increase your stealth as well. So it gives you another 2%. One of them is in the holding cells at HQ in New Atlantis. The police station there, right by the spaceport. If you go downstairs, you walk right through. All the signs. Keep out, authorized personnel only. You walk right in. The guards talk to you as you go down the hall. You walk down to the jail cell. You go into the last one, and there's a Varun magazine there. And then in Gagarin, there's one at the end of a catwalk.
Yeah, on the catwalk, yeah, I shake my little touch on the catwalk.
On the right side of the city. So that helps with stealth right away too. And you don't have to fight anybody for those.
Yeah, it's interesting because one thing I heard people asking about a lot was, do magazines stack in Starfield? And I think when you find different issues, they stack like they always have in Fallout 4, right?
Yep,
But they
yep.
don't stack across New Game Plus, probably not. Not that I'm there yet, but like if you were to find, say, Live and Love 4, I know that's not a Starfield magazine, but Fallout, and then you were in New Game Plus 3 and you found Live and Love 4 again, you wouldn't get another bonus because you already got it, right?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either. I think so, because they've got to cap it somehow.
Yeah,
But-
I've only gotten to New Game Plus. I haven't actually played New Game Plus.
Right. No, that was a goal. Like even finishing the game, we were all very impressed. Better than I've done so far.
But I made a big mistake with this new very hard character. I took ballistics and pistols,
Right.
and at level 6,
You're destroying everything, right?
I was
already?
destroying level 98 bosses.
What?
Yeah.
Do you ever stream your...
No, because they're
Your
really
play?
boring.
I'd like to see a level 6 destroy level 98.
Yeah. I guess that part, if I set it up, but then it would be a pretty short stream. But either way, yeah, it's something I could probably do. So
I don't know. I'd watch you do that, and then I request a special 4th time's a charm, swing and a miss for Andrew, ship instructional for dummies level 101 intro to shipbuilding again.
You got better.
I find it so
You got
fucking frustrating.
better at it. I just feel like probably, even though you finally had some success at it, you've probably forgotten since it was, a while ago.
I restarted. I started a new character a couple of weeks ago, and I've been playing a few minutes here and there, trying to respark that fire. You know what I mean? 'Cause if you remember the first time I played Skyrim, like it didn't really take. You know what I mean? I played it for 20 hours, something like that, and was like, oh, that's fine, whatever. And I just kind of went, and then I played Red Dead Redemption and sunk like my life into that game, but like came back to Skyrim, and that's when it like, oh, I see it now. You know what I mean? Like it really sucks you in, and there's all this stuff. So I'm kind of hoping that I get hooked with Starfield in the same way. You know what I mean? Like if I just, because I feel like I rushed through the first time. You know what I mean? Like it was a lightning dash towards the finish line, and then I really haven't picked it up. Yeah, exactly. And I haven't really picked it up much again since then. So I wanted it to like grab me again, so I can really, because you guys feel like you're just reveling in the joy that is Starfield. You know what I mean?
Yeah, overall, although like Ray is saying, his very hard play, he's finished up because it was too easy, and we've talked about this and that with it. Like Ray, you may have hit a point now where you're good with it for a little while. Is that right? Or
Well, no. So this new character that I'm playing now, that's level 10, is way too easy. So, and part of that is because so I got into a building and was going around killing everybody, and this one guy just absolutely obliterated, one shot dead. So then went back in, one shot dead, one shot dead, and I finally figured a way to sneak in and kill him before he had a chance to take a shot at me.
Mhm.
And went and got his pistol, and it was an instigating Varun pistol.
Do they still use that same prefix in Starfield? Do they use the instigating, so double damage at 100% health?
Yeah, with full health.
Really? Why didn't they come up with a new word for that?
I don't know. And so now I'm one-shotting everybody with this Varun pistol.
Well,
because it's massive. And then
you're
on top
allowed
of
to
that-
drop it and not use it, Ray.
No, as long as I have it, I've got to
Right.
use it, because it is so much fun.
When the really hard gets too easy, he then describes it as fun. Jess, do you see that?
Well,
And
no,
then
anytime
he needs to quit as soon as it's fun. What is
it's
this?
the paradox. It's the paradox. We all want to get the best loot and level and our characters best we can, get as powerful as we can, and then we get annoyed when it's too easy. But you're going to use the best loot you find.
You shouldn't ever touch the legendary stuff, right? That should be your very hard rule: is that you don't touch the enhanced equipment.
Yeah. Well, and even still, I hadn't really played. I did a little bit with weapon modifications. So I've done a little bit more with this character and ended up building a pistol that is silenced and has a scope and everything. So it's a sniper gun, but even though it's not legendary, it's still super powerful. And then I needed to go to where did I go? I went to Gagarin because I had to get some components that one of their cactuses has. And while I was there, I happened to cross a building, and it was full of level 5 to 12 ecliptic, and you just go through there, and I mean those guys don't stand a chance. You shoot the level 12 who has 3 health bars one time, and he's dead. So you can't fight anybody that's your same level. You have to spend all your time in the level 75 systems. And
What is this that causes it for you?
just the weapons are so powerful.
Just knowing, grabbing
Because
the right weapons. Okay.
Yeah, because when you play on very hard, you get good drops,
Right.
and you get a lot of them.
And you get weapons based on the level of your opponent, like you were saying. It's based on
Right.
enemy level. Mhm.
Enemy level. So my goal is to go right to level 75 planet or systems. And so, the lowest level characters that I'm coming across are level 50. And so you're getting all high-end advanced weapons. And I've got I have advanced spacesuit with 3 legendaries. One of them sets people on fire. I have a superior helmet and a superior pack. So my standing DR is like 500 something.
Wow, that's more than mine at level 70 something. Okay.
And so, it's only fun if you stay in those high end systems, because those guys can still one shot you.
So that's maybe a flaw with very hard, you think? Or is it you actually seeking out, once you seek out the 75, you kind of got to stay there? If you had have stayed in lower level systems on very hard, then it would be a little bit more of a natural curve.
Right, because you wouldn't have as good a stuff. And so, it's kind of that's the way that style ends up playing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's also not very much fun to play very hard with crappy stuff.
No, you're right. You want the best gear you can to survive. But yeah, it's kind of a self-fulfilling loop. That's interesting. That it maybe needs changed on the balancing there a little bit, or the way in which it drops loot to make it harder on you. So you don't get the higher level loot automatically for higher level enemies. But cool that you restarted the very hard to make it hard again, even if it's not really. And yeah, I only was curious if you had finally, after 4 months, because today is the 6th. We are officially 4 months from when the game officially released, not early access, but came out September 6th. So it's been exactly 4 months now. And you put in more time than anyone I know. Well, except for maybe my friend Rishi on Twitter. I think he's over 1,000 hours too. But yeah, I wasn't sure if you were finally ready to put it down for a little bit until, the next update.
Well, I mean, mods really save it for me. So,
Mhm.
And I got super excited, because I went to fire the game up, and on the Vortex, there's little advertisements for, new mods that are featured. And I saw one that had just been released that day, called Better Backgrounds. And so they added, I think they added 6 backgrounds. They enhanced all of the basic backgrounds.
Oh, character backgrounds, not
character backgrounds.
Visual. Okay, yep.
Yeah. And then they also added some backgrounds with tier 2 perks in them.
Wow. God, that makes you think about the overhauls when we get like an Anai Scion style, or the other guy that Victor likes, Simon Magus, is it? Like those kind of style overhauls for Starfield, I can't imagine.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when I loaded the mod, my game crashed.
Oh, okay.
So then I stripped out all the mods that I could conceivably play without, and it still crashed. And so I just set it aside and put all my mods back. And
how spoiled he says, all the mods I could conceivably play without.
Yeah, there's definitely some that I could not possibly play without.
Starfield first. We'll get the aristocrats forming right at the head. No, great. PC. That's more of a PC Master Race thing.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely hopeful. I'm looking forward to that. That's the one thing that would just send me, off into nothing but Starfield, would be able to craft all my own characters.
Right.
So I can pick, any starting stats I want, and, actually, get useful playthroughs. We'll see what happens.
That's awesome, though. I look forward to hearing how that one evolves too. Like if you do stick with it, or you do something entirely different now.
Yeah, so we'll see. This is a lot of fun to do when you first start out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just the process of getting the frontier to Serpentis is hilarious.
That's an adventure. Okay, I can see that. Yeah, like different random encounters. You can only jump so far with it. Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah. So,
speaking of Serpentis, our friend Randy in Discord, he explored and surveyed every planet in Serpentis. So like we used it mostly for fighting, but he was landing and exploring them all, and shared some great pictures. There are some cool actual livable planets there. I think, are there 3 temperate and livable planets? I think there are.
Yeah, I don't know. I set up a base on Serpentis 3,
It's a good one.
which is nice, and it was so pretty that I ended up I built in the greenhouse instead of a regular hab. Um, so that's been nice, which also came in handy because I got raided by Ecliptic, and boy, weren't they surprised. Uh, but yeah, so it's a super fun way to play. I'll probably keep doing these, until I figure out something else to do, because it's definitely a lot of fun. And it's fun to see what you get. Now, so I could potentially make it even harder if I didn't re-roll the legendaries. When you're about to kill the level 98 boss in the house, you save just before you finish him off.
Oh, to make sure you get something you like. Yeah, that is a little different. That's like what Andrew was doing during his survival run on the first half.
Yeah. So if you didn't do that, you'd end up with a lot of serious crap.
Ugh, don't I know? Because I don't do that at all, and I have gotten so much crap. The number of legendary rippers and osmium daggers and bullshit pardon me, I get for like these melee weapons. Like, no, that's not what I want.
Right.
No,
And
no.
stupid helmets, with big game hunter.
Ugh. It's so silly. There are some great legendary perks, and there's some. I mean, at least it's not like nocturnal. But I feel like the not Spacer's Choice. What's the one you get in the there? You get a bonus when you're fighting in space, and you lose it on the ground. Like, ugh.
Oh yeah, that was, and that I did have a weapon. It was a shoddy that had that, which was fine because that character I was spending a lot of time capturing ships.
Yeah, you
in
earmark it just for
space.
those battles.
So I would load that up and take it with me, and it was great. But that's one character doing one specific thing, and the usefulness of it beyond that is zero.
Yeah, you can only carry so many weapons too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the weight adds up. I keep 7 on me at all times. For a while, I had 8. I was using the mutineer pistol we talked about last time that you get from Vlad's house, and that was because that has that effect on it for me. So I was just using it when I was in space, and I'm like, nope,
Yeah.
7 weapons is enough. I don't need the extra weight.
Yeah. And it's always a treat when you get a titanium version.
Ooh, yes.
So,
Or a 1-inch punch, anything. That's
yeah,
a
one
pretty
inch
cool.
punch is
cool.
nice, but
Pretty
the
cool perk.
titanium's nice because it makes it a free carry
Mhm.
because it's got less than a half a pound or half a
Yeah,
kilo.
it's like the ultralight. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So
So that's a good bit of Starfield. I love it. You been playing anything else?
I started doing the No Man's Sky permadeath no ship runs again. Those are always fun.
Where you land on a planet and just see what happens?
You start on a planet and you don't go to your starting ship.
You don't take
Instead,
the starter ship. You have to go find
you have to go find a place.
a marooned ship or kill someone and steal their ship. Ray, how dare!
Yeah.
Very rude way to start a game, Ray.
Well, yeah. So you can't actually kill anybody and take their ship in No Man's Sky. Way too chill for that.
No pirates. No pirates allowed.
No. I mean, you can run across other pirates, but you don't take their ships. You just blow them out of the sky.
How do you get one then? Do you have to build it yourself or?
No, so you can either find one that's crashed on a planet that you can fix up and fly into space, or if you find there's traveling merchants that'll land on a planet next to you, and you can go trade with them. If you've got enough money, you can buy their ship from them. So that's one way to go. And then the other is find a trade post, which is um, a location that has 7 landing pads, and ships come in, fly in, land, do business, and take off. And so you can go buy one of those guys' ships if you want to. So on when you're walking around on the planet trying to find one of these locations, you pick up salvage data, which is you find these crashed pods and you get the data out of them.
Yeah, you bring it back to a ship technician.
You
Mhm.
can sell that and have cash to buy ships with. So that's what I did. So you definitely have to be in the mood for just, almost no action, because you're just walking across the planet trying to stay alive, recharging your suit every 3 minutes.
That's super immersive. That's also kind of like your introduction to Light No Fire in a way.
Yeah.
I know that there will be a lot more to it, but at the same time, exploring the planet.
Yep. So, and it's nice because you know it might be just a couple of 100 meters away from you, or it could be in some cases 60,000, and you're walking along, staying alive, checking out the animals.
I'm picturing you now strutting. I'm picturing you now strutting to Staying Alive by the Bee Gees.
There you go.
Dun, 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 dun.
So that's been a fun. And then also I've been playing my stealth character in Skyrim, sneaking around in caves, killing bandits and everything with my daggers.
Awesome fun. A lot of Skyrim talk again lately. Between the update with the mods and the new creations, people just coming back to it. People who tried Starfield and were like, not as much my back, or really enjoyed it and it re-whet their appetite for Skyrim. I'm seeing a lot of Skyrim resurgence on the internet. So always great. I mean, Skyrim is home for a lot of us.
Yeah, it's definitely an easy game to pop in and out of.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I'm not really doing any quests, all I'm doing is dungeon crawls. So, it makes it a much more casual play for me. So, other than that, not too much.
That is awesome, though. It's really cool hearing about your Starfield stuff and all these other things. All this prep for the next time we dive back into a Fallout game, big time. I think it does sound like we need to start a roundtable though, since we got you in every other game. I think in order to pull you back to Fallout, we might need to do a roundtable soon.
Yeah,
but
because that's the. I mean, I had some fun playing around with the explosives character.
Mhm.
But I just don't have a purpose right now.
Yeah.
Something will hit me and I'll jump in and do it. But it just I'm lacking inspiration in Fallout right now.
Maybe you'll get inspired by a survival vault and trying to get over 100+ dwellers in Fallout Shelter in your survival vault, kind of like Andrew has been.
Boom.
So for me,
Spoiler
regular
alert.
play is a survival play. I usually don't survive. If I make it to an hour in a vault, that's really saying something.
But Andrew, I want to hear about your gameplay and what you've been up to with the Fallout Shelter. 100+ dwellers. I know you've had to restart a couple of times. That things are going well, getting great, and then oof, destruction, Deathclaw attack, everybody dead.
Oh shoot, you lost me. Oh crap.
Oh, we got to get your audio back. I do
yeah.
hear you. You're just quiet.
How about now? There we go.
Melodious.
Shelter. Yeah, if you remember, there was just like a couple of tragic events in the chain. Like I sent people out on a quest with every stim pack in the place, and then had a death claw attack immediately after. They love to do that. As soon as the front door is triggered, boom, you have triggered an event, of course, every time. And usually it's just like ghouls or raiders. It's funny how they sort of cross paths going past out of the shelter door. They're like,
like, I'm out of here. Have fun.
yeah, exactly.
Wait. Hold the door.
Yeah, exactly. Remember that old cartoon where the ants are passing each other and it's like bread and butter, 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 bread and butter. It's like as the ghouls are going on in, our adventurers are going out.
Get out while the getting's good. Yep.
But anyway, usually when you send people out, it's not a big deal. I know it'll usually trigger an event. But it was, I had literally just sent every stim pack with those guys. And a death claw attack happened, which is not a huge deal. You expect to lose a few people. And then you use up all your stim packs. There's usually about 10 left over after I send all of them out with the people, because I think I can hold and produce and hold 35, but when I send people out, there's 25. So, used all my stim packs up, healing people up and all that. Then there was like immediately another death claw attack. So, go back. All right, fix everyone again. Oh crap, now I'm out of stim packs. And then like a third time, and then like raiders, and then right after, it was just terrible. So I was down in the 30s, 37, I think I got down to, for the count. But that was, 2 weeks ago? Something like that. So I've just been concentrating on building up the population again, but with emphasis on training, because I've now gotten 4 Mr. Handy robots, which is enough to have set up sort of like an automatic vault, you know what I mean? So I don't have to spend a lot of time scrolling and punching.
It's so nice having to go back and forth, recover everything.
Yeah, and you can put them down the screen where it's not important, where you don't have to scroll down all the time. So you put the automated ones all the way down where, they're not prone to attacks from outside. And,
do you have very many production floors? Like, how many production floors do you have?
Well, see, that's the thing. They were all empty because everyone died, right?
Oh, right.
So, actually, I have like my first introductory level of production, and then some residential stuff. Then a more advanced level as your population grows, you can get more advanced rooms. So there's like my introductory, and then the second level. So like the next batch of rooms down, is sort of like the next level up of everything. And that's where I've set up all of the automatic stuff. The upper rooms are actually still empty because the population, they have now been refilled within the last 2 days, as I've been really concentrating on getting the population back up. But they sat empty for a long time because I found, even though they're there and they're powered, if people aren't in them, it doesn't take as much power to have them there if they're not in operation mode. It's not like they're not using as much electricity or something like that.
So if you have a Nuka-Cola factory or whatever, it's not, or whatever you call that area, it's not using as much power as if when it's actually being used.
Exactly. So you don't need a ton of power if the rooms are empty. But if I spread one person out in all of these rooms that were empty before, then my power need is a lot more. And I find that to be... So I was concentrating on having them stay in the training rooms instead of put people back up into the production rooms up top and just die again over and over. But I found with the Mr. Handies, I set up 2 power rooms down on the second level where there was, in the second batch of more advanced rooms. I had my 4 Mr. Handies going. I had 2 in power rooms and 1 in the food and 1 in the water. But that was enough that I didn't really need to ever scroll down there and look, because Mr. Handies was like, every once in a while there was like a rad scorpion or a mole rat attack or something, so you have to do that. But you can just kind of ignore that. And, you put your outfit factory down there, right? Because the more advanced recipes that we're up to now takes like 7 days to produce. Yes,
yeah, so days.
You put all that shit that you don't need to look at frequently way down at the bottom of the vault, and you just bunch all that stuff together so you don't have to scroll down there. It's kind of nice have an automated vault like that, but it takes getting Mr. Handies, and that was really hard to get up to 4 on the Xbox, because like I mentioned 1,000 times already, there's not that little mobile thing where you get to play and watch a video advertisement.
Don't get the freebies.
You get the freebie lunchbox and bottles and all that stuff. But so no, that was my big achievement, as I got back up to 100 in the last few days. So that's and I think really the key was just setting up better security and not ever leaving the vault door unguarded, because I think once those people got killed and I was just kind of like trying to it's like just trying to chase your losses, if that makes sense. If you don't have the vault door defended and there's subsequent attacks and then another one you don't have if you don't have the stim packs for coverage and you don't have that vault door defended, it's this, if you get 2 Deathclaw attacks in a row, they'll decimate you, man. It's vicious.
Wipe you out. Yep.
It's vicious. Anyway, that's my shelter talk, I think. Yeah.
How about resources in 76 then, gathering resources? It'd be nice if you could send out a handy for your daily challenges. A Haley,
Lord.
yeah.
Send out a Haley. I want to
handy for your dailies.
Blast fucking teddy bears into the sun right now. I never want to see another goddamn teddy bear in my life. Why? I don't understand. What is it? Why do they do this? They know they do it on purpose. It's like, let's collect 3 teddy bears. I'm like, the first time I'm like, oh, that's fun, great. And then
nice daily.
2 days later, you see it collect 3 teddy bears, and you're like, wait, I did that a couple days. Okay, whatever. I'll get another 3 teddy bears, sure. But then you go away. Okay, wait. The place I just checked 2 days ago, it hasn't replenished yet. Fuck. All right. Okay. Now so I gotta find three other teddy bears.
Well, and then they put it on the weekly, and you end up needing 9.
And then it's on the weekly, and then you look again 2 days later, and they do it again. 3 times this week. It's been collect 3 teddy bears. That place, I shouldn't have collected all of them. When I went up the first time, the Knife Edge, right, way up on the north edge, there's that Raider
the Motherlode
camp.
cabin there.
Right,
yep,
there's that little tiny cabin. I pop up there, and it's so fucking hard to get them if you have a jetpack on. I should have been smart and just taken my jetpack off just to jump up.
Yeah, you just jump and click.
Oh my God, I can't. It's so fucking impossible. I ended up throwing grenades up there to try to blast them down because there were 2 that got stuck in the corners that I couldn't fucking get because my jetpack made me keep jumping too high. Oh, it was so goddamn annoying. But then I collected them all. Why did I do that? I should have only collected 3 and left them, because I didn't assume that, they're going to say collect more teddy bears like 3 days in the week. I know what they're trying to do. They're saying like, okay, the weekly is collect 9 teddy bears. So as a favor to them, what we're going to do is say collect 3 teddy bears 3 times in the week. So, by participating in their
dailies. But some
people
bang them out.
Yes, and by banging them out, I screw myself.
I mean, there are a lot of bears in a lot of places on the map, but the biggest issue is not only that the ones your go-to places have been pooched and haven't replenished, but if you're on public servers mostly, everybody is grabbing all the known locations.
Absolutely.
So you can be like, yeah, Cilior mentions buying them from the White Spring, right? You can go in, you can buy 2 at the White Spring without too much trouble.
Yeah.
There's the ones at Palace of the Winding Path, obviously the Motherlode cabin up there by Knife's Edge and Prickett's Fort. There are a lot of little places with bears, but when everybody's, pooching them all,
I thought
there have to be
I thought there were a ton at Camden, but then I was like, oh no, those are
They're all
Mr. Fuzzies.
fuzzies.
Fuck.
Okay, look. This is a point of discussion. Okay,
Is
a
he a
cobbler
teddy
should be a
bear?
pie,
Right.
and a teddy and a fuzzy should be a teddy.
Should a fuzzy because I did that. I checked. I went to my Tinker Bench and built like some plushies and stuff of different varieties, but I don't have any teddy bear varieties. I have like a sheep squatch plushie and a super mutant plushie and a Graham plushie and every goddamn plushie you could think of on earth, but not a goddamn teddy bear.
None of them are teddies.
So maddening it didn't count as a teddy bear. Like, how is a Mr. Fuzzy not a teddy? Is it because it's not a bear? Because let's talk about Mr. Fuzzy, what he is in the role that he represents. He is, in essence, a teddy bear, but he's a teddy cat. So Teddy...
He's a stuffed cat or a plush cat, depending how you want to put it.
The change is the animal, not the function. His function is still Teddy, which is, my comfy, cuddly companion, right? So he's a teddy cat, so it should count as the teddy...
I'm with you philosophically, but I don't like teddy cat.
It's a teddy cat. Teddy kid?
And even still, the goal is to get 3 teddy bears.
No, 3 teddies. 3 teddies, Ray. That's what it should be.
Yeah, and lazy ones don't count either.
Collect 3 plushies.
What are you going to go get? Naughty nightwear?
Exactly. Like, they should allow liberal interpretations here.
Naughty nightwear. Yes, a dirty plushie.
But no, I think Mr. Fuzzy should count for that because they definitely fulfill the role of like a teddy or a teddy bear or whatever for purposes of the challenge. But I always want to be more liberal on that than not.
Oh,
you know.
Well, okay, so the great Teddy rant of 2024 is over.
It was a good rant. It was a good rant. Anyone still there who's trying to bang out the weeklies or didn't actually get them? Because it's still going all week this week, right? This wasn't last week. This was this week.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. So anyone's still trying to get it done? There are a lot of places mentioned. Solera mentions Clancy Manor and the Watauga Civic Center. So if you go up to the 2nd or 3rd floor of Watauga, 3rd, I think, where the courthouse is, and in that courthouse scene, you got all the bears in the seats.
The bears and the jury. I forgot
and people don't go there much.
Jury bears.
So I think that must be what Solera meant when he said Watauga Civic Center, because I like that spot.
Right, that's a great source of bears, and it's fucking adorable.
Remember when they used to be filming a movie in the kitchen? Now they are all in the corner. Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're still there. Nice.
Yeah,
I thought about that.
They did the same thing. So the cultists did the same thing that the responders did at the White Spring. They just took everything that was there, it's still there, but it's shoved in the corner, which I kind of like the continuity of that.
That's funny. I'm glad they're still there. That's cool because I did think about, there's the one. Oh no, they did change that, so I didn't go up there and check. But they are in the corner there still. That's fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How's your score going?
91. So round in the corner. Hopefully by next show, maybe not, but hopefully Tuesday I can jump on the weeklies, and we'll see how many of the dailies I have to do next week. So hopefully by the next show I'll be basking in scorecation. So yeah, Jess, you better hurry up on this new roundtable schedule. It's like I'm coasting into.
You're gonna be ready. We'll do the same thing we did the last couple years. So Fallout 1. We did start in December a year and a half ago. Okay. But like this last year with the Fallout 4, it was the kind of thing where we were saying, we ought to do this. We ought to do this. And then like halfway through January, you said, okay, Jess, we're doing it beginning of Feb.
Let's go.
Like, okay, let's do it.
Come on.
We just need to do that sometimes. Put our foot down. But we got to decide on what we're doing, because God, I want to go back to Fallout 3.
Also,
but there's all kinds of things.
I've got to get the roundtables like scheduling and map out process and all that. I've got to get that done before. Like, Jess, you have like 80,000 projects lined up that you're always busy with, right? So like when I do see that exit open, you got to take your shot. Right? Yep. When like, oh my God, Jess is not consumed with an online play. She's not streaming right now. She's not doing.
We're in the down season right now, Andrew. This is a great time to decide on next season.
She's not making a video. She just finished. She's She's
Yeah.
available right
look,
now.
Look at her schedule. In late January, she's down to 4 projects.
Oh yeah, she's down from 38 projects down to 4. Let's
It's always a group effort. Just sometimes I spearhead it. It all depends. It all depends. But speaking of level, you're 91. It's funny. One thing I don't think we actually mentioned this last week, but Clint chimed in chat and we talked about it after the show. The difference between having the Fallout first bonus and not. So as we know, Clint and Charlene play together a lot. In 76 and all that, and they did a scoreboard together. Well, this season, Charlene has had Fallout First, and Clint has not had Fallout First, which means she's getting the boosters. So doing the same challenges on, same days, basically essentially doing the same thing. She is rank 97, so almost Scorcation, and he is rank 87. So it's made a full 10 levels difference with that Fallout First boost. And I think that's kind of cool. So I just wanted to mention that.
She must be doing a little bit extra too, because I've only missed one daily challenge the whole season. I'm only 91. What'd you say she was? 97?
97. Yep. I'm somewhere in the 60s. Maybe a little higher. I actually don't know. I got a few levels grinding myself this week, but I don't know where I am. I don't think I even popped my bubbles.
Man, she's coasting in.
Yep.
Do it, Charlene. Do it.
So what else for you? So rank 90 something on the scoreboard. 90.
Let's see. Fermenter in a shelter. Why can I build a brewing station down in my camp in 76? Down in your shelter, you can build a brewing station, but not a fermenter.
You can't do most of those resources that require water. So like you can't do water stuff in a shelter either, right? I wonder what makes a fermenter different.
I was thinking, do they have like OSHA style safety concerns?
Oh, same way you can't do like the displays and stuff. I guess it's just those assignable things.
Like, are they saying fermentation, it might be an explosive process?
But you see what happens to Biv.
Don't put it in the basement.
Yeah, you don't want to end up like Viv. It's true. It's true. Those fumes will get to you.
Yeah, so I was down there, like, because one of the dailies this week was ferment 3 alcoholic beverages or something like that. And I was just like looking in the crafting menu, like, where the fuck is because there's the brewing one. I can build a brewery, but like not, I just couldn't build a fermenter for some reason. And then I remembered, wait, you can't build one in a camp either. Not camp, a workshop. If I remember right, you can build the brewery, but not the fermenter.
Things where you need to assign stuff to from your stash. Yeah. So, you're talking mannequins, fermenters, stores, shops.
Yeah.
You can't put your shops in there, any of that stuff.
You can't do it in shelters or workshops. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Where are they? I was going nuts looking for it in the menu too. Anyway, I think that's the last of my gameplay, really. But the most recent adventure in my life is that I saved the pizza from the car roof.
And there was much rejoicing.
Wait, hang on.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yay! I just got back from Michigan. Moses was at his in-laws because he's on holiday break from school, right? Mm-hmm. But the first week is fine and dandy. Everyone home, but mom and dad got to go back to work. But kids off for 2 weeks. You got to figure out something else to do for that second week. So off to grandma's house we go. So I ran up and picked him up in Michigan, and a little town called Niles, Michigan, just across the border north of South Bend, Indiana. There is a little tiny pizza place called Pizza Transit, which I believe I've mentioned on the show before, probably tons of times. But it's my favorite little pizza place on earth, and it has zero business being in a rural town in Michigan. You know what I mean? Like,
wait, you didn't strap a pizza to your roof to bring home, did you?
No. I always have to stop for this place, but I got the pizza. We got it home, and I was unpacking and getting everything inside the house, but I just tossed the pizza on top of the car just to get it out of the car while I'm getting stuff out. But like, I unpacked everything and came inside and just plopped it down, and Tori's like, "Where's the pizza?" I'm like, oh wait, it's on the car. So I had to go out and rescue the.
Well, the good thing
pizza
is the
from the car.
refrigerated pizza is great. So
Well, I was explaining that to Mo. He was like, "Aren't you gonna have to heat that up? It's not gonna get cold, and it's like a 3-hour drive from Nana's house." And I was like, "I mean, even bad pizza's good. Like it's cold pizza's good. I prefer it room temperature before it goes into refrigerator than like pulling it out of a refrigerator and reheating it."
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's fair.
I'd rather eat at room temperature than reheated, definitely.
Unless you do the pan reheat, with a nice big frying pan, a little bit of butter.
My mother-in-law taught me that. She is a big on that. She, I don't know why. She's not big into microwaves. I don't know if she just doesn't like the radiation or something like that, but she won't have one in her house, and she always cooks with, her gas stove. And I'm like, you're scared of the radiation, but yet, you have natural gas in your house, which the fumes are cancer causing and all that stuff. But
It's
whatever.
natural
Let's
gas.
Let's not
we
get
all have our
into
thing.
that, shall we? But anyway, so she reheats pizza in like just a little tiny bit of oil in a pan, and it fucking crisps it up. And it's fucking great. It's a great way to
Ever since
reheat
I
pizza.
learned that, God, like 8-9 years ago, that's my favorite way to reheat pizza. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm lazy as anyone. Microwaves are for tea, but they're also for pizza.
can,
So I'll do that, or in the toaster oven more. I usually put pizza in the toaster oven to heat it back up.
Yeah.
But when I want to take the time and get a couple slices in a pan, oh, it's good.
Yeah. Do you want to make your crust extra chewy? You just dabble a little bit of water around them, throw the lid on there, let it steam up a little bit, and your crust comes back to life. It's beautiful. Oh, the reason I like this pizza place is because they have cheese that's not just like everyone's always like, ooh, I love like lots of tons of cheese. I'm not a huge like overdo the cheese on a pizza. I never order like extra cheese. I'm never getting tons and tons of cheese on a thing. But this cheese is fucking special because it's not just like, ooh, stretchy cheese. It wouldn't, if you pick this cheese up and like took a bite and stretched the hot piece away from your face, you don't get that big ooey gooey like all the way. I don't want that cheese. You know what I mean? This cheese snaps when you pull it away from your face, and you're sitting on it and you rub it against your teeth and it squeaks. You know what I mean? You like cheese curds, how cheese curds squeak. I fucking love cheese curds. This is like,
what cheese they use?
Cheese. I don't know. They say it's mozzarella, but it must be like this. How do you know how cheese curds are made? Is it like some similar thing to mozzarella? Maybe I don't know. But
Maybe they're using real mozzarella de buffalo. Who knows?
yeah, fresh mozzarella is essentially cheese curds that are just balled up.
Is it really? Yeah. But the cheese is just, it's fucking awesome. It's like it snaps and squeaks and it's so chewy and good. And that's why I always have to stop and get this pizza. We had just gone out to dinner. Like I took my in-laws out to dinner and we all sat down and ate a big, and I'm like, they're like, okay, you heading home? I'm like, yep, we got to stop and get a pizza. My mother was like, we just ate. I'm like, yeah, I know. I love that place too much. I'll take it home and eat it over the next couple days. It's fine.
Right. It's for later. No, absolutely.
Yeah,
when you're there, you got to stock up.
Got to stock up on my favorite pizza every time I go through town.
And maybe grab a slice at midnight because, that's what we do.
Oh, God. Or two. If I do a nod to Jess as I'm dumping hot sauce on it.
Oh, yes, please. Yum. You know me, I love putting things on my pizza, hot sauce, French dressing, all the good stuff.
Oh, that's so weird. French dressing. So strange.
I mean, it's not uncommon in certain places. A lot of people do ranch. I like French, but some people do ranch. Catalina, dressing on pizza. I love it. What can I say?
I don't know. My parents liked it. Tori gets disgusted when I tell her this, but whenever we did taco salad in my house as a kid, my parents liked to take half the French dressing, Western dressing, whatever it's called, and half salsa. Mix that together, and that was their salad dressing for the taco salad. And Tori makes that vomit.
Oh, that's
face.
so good.
Is it really?
Oh, does she really?
Yeah. She thinks that sounds like the most disgusting thing ever.
Spicy ranch is amazing. No, I love doing like a Southwestern ranch and adding a little salsa to it for sure. I mean, you can just put it on separate and shake it with the salad. But
not ranch, French, like the Western.
I might have just made that face too.
The red the red French, like, ranch and salsa together is great. I like that combination. But my parents, for taco salad, would mix the French and salsa together.
I bet it would taste really good, honestly. So I'm not going to knock it. It does sound strange, but so does a lot of things that I like.
Well,
so
go out there and try it, everyone, and report back. I'd like to hear what everyone thinks about it.
Yeah, it would really just sweeten the salsa.
Yeah. Ray,
Yeah.
do you do anything to your pizza as far as dressing it before you eat it?
No.
No. A little Parmesan cheese, that's it.
Yeah, no cheese.
Do you eat it cold?
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Duh.
do you ever eat pizza?
I eat it all the time.
Just no cheese? You get it without cheese?
Yep.
That's amazing. Do you have a place that knows you, like, oh, this guy, the no cheese guy?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
They know you.
Yeah, one delivery place and one sit down place.
Can you get, and it might not be worth it, I don't even know if it's good enough to substitute, like vegan cheese or something? Like something that wouldn't
Oh yeah, no.
mess you up?
I've had real cheese before, so I can't.
So you can't eat
anything.
vegan cheese?
You're like, sir, I no cheese, and this is not cheese.
I saw you nodding when I was talking about squeaky cheese over there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I used to be a cheese buyer,
Right.
so yeah, I know cheese. I just no longer know it.
It hurts you, or you dislike it?
No, I'm allergic to the protein.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
He cannot have it.
So is that it's always, is there a portion of the processing of the cheese? Like, the curds are just a different step, like premature step of the processing of everything. If I understand the processing of cheese, right? Curds is just sort of like an early stage in the whole processing of the cheese. It just hasn't been, like, is there a stage that has less protein that you could handle
No.
more, or like it's always in that?
No, you can take the sugar out. That's what people that drink lactate milk, and you can make fake cheese out of real milk without the sugar in it, but you can't make anything without the protein.
What is
Because that's just water.
what is the protein in cheese called?
Lactase.
Yeah, and all that dairy stuff.
Can't do lactase-free cheese, right? Or
No,
it'd just
no,
be an
or
oil-based
milk
thing.
or anything else. So,
And like you said, he's
I
had
don't-
cheese.
yeah, yeah, and I don't do fake. So
And that's different than lactase.
yeah, lactase is the protein, lactose is the sugar.
Interesting. Food
So.
science, everyone.
Food science, yep.
Just a quick clear up for any listeners, like picturing me like drenching my pizza in French dressing now. It's not a wicked common thing. I just do it occasionally. Hot sauce I do regularly. Yes, hot sauce belongs on pizza. We know that.
I love ranch on pizza. I'd never heard of anyone putting French on pizza.
I had this friend from Louisiana that taught me young. I was impressionable, and I really love it. A good red French Catalina on pizza, just
So
delicious.
weird.
Oh my
I
goodness.
mean, that's really just sweetened ketchup.
Oh, I like ketchup on pizza too. Don't get me wrong.
Ketchup is already
So
super
French
fucking
dressing, there isn't anything unique about it. It's just sweetened ketchup.
I mean, it's got a little bit more zest to it, a little more zip.
A little bit of vinegar, okay, but
Yeah.
ketchup has a little vinegar in it too.
That's true. Oh, I do love it. A good balsamic ketchup. Yum, yum, yum. But generally pizza is just pizza. I add my hot sauce. I add, my pepperoni and my pineapple.
What's your stance on a stuffed crust? Would you ever do a stuffed crust? You ever fall into that gimmick?
Well, the problem is most of the time you get a stuffed crust. It's from a, pun intended, I suppose, a cheesy sort of establishment where it's not necessarily the highest quality pizza at places that serve stuffed crust. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, who would say no to more cheese besides Ray?
Well, me, I'm like I said earlier, I'll never get an extra cheese. I usually get light cheese, extra sauce, well done is my style. I like the crust to. I don't like a doughy crust at all. You know what I mean? I like kind of chewy. I'd rather it be crispy than chewy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind a bacon rise with the stuffed crust, but essentially you're basically just getting like cheese sticks all around the crust.
Right,
But
that is the same thing.
that's not my thing so much. I had a really good pizza this week though. Since we're talking pizza, before I get into gameplay, let me just say that I did do good pizza this week. So I don't always do good pizza. Occasionally I'll just do, homemade, which is decent, or, Domino's because it's cheap. And hey, quick pizza hack for people who don't know out there. You can get extra sauce at Domino's for free. So if you're like, oh, Domino's pizza doesn't taste like anything, add extra sauce. They don't charge you for extra sauce and it adds a lot of flavor. So, right in the app, get your $6.99 medium pizza with extra sauce. But I got good pizza this week. And I got my usual pepperoni pineapple, but I got the Big Mac pizza.
That's
and I've
weird
told you guys about this
too.
before, right? What, my Big Mac pizza is weird?
No, before that even the pineapple and pepperoni. Ham and pepperoni you see a lot because Hawaiian or whatever, but pepperoni and pineapple I haven't seen. I've seen jalapenos and pepperoni. That's a delicious combination. I've seen
jalapeno, pineapple, pepperoni, perfect.
Pineapple and pepperoni, not. I've never seen. I've seen the jalapenos and the pineapple even, but I've never seen the
This is a level up situation. Okay.
Gosh,
So,
okay.
I mean, what is pepperoni but ham and other meats, made
spicy ham. Right.
So, yeah. So, if you're walking in, you get a regular, like Hawaiian, as they call it, with the ham and pineapple. Sure. That's regular mode. That's normal mode. But if you want to play on very hard, you want to get a legendary pizza. Okay. You go in and you get pepperoni, nice and spicy pepperoni. You get the jalapenos or maybe banana peppers, hot sauce, pineapple. All that flavor, all that spice, and sweet of them.
Banana peppers
so good.
is
Especially
delicious.
and if you have them, if you do have them get it extra done,
Mhm.
then the pepperoni is crispy on the edges,
all cupped and crispy.
and the pineapple is slightly burned, and that's good pizza.
Charred pineapple. Do you ever grill pineapple? If you like the charred pineapple
It's about
stuff,
the only way I eat it.
really,
It is good. Yeah, that is good. So you were asking about Big Mac pizza. Yeah, so that is it's just
what
a
was
local thing at my pizza place that I really love. They do a Reuben pizza too, which is delicious, but it's got like a sesame seed crust, like a Big Mac bun, a sesame seed crust, and it's got, Thousand Island and all the fixins, zesty Thousand Island hamburger, pickles.
Fuck
But
yeah,
it's
yum.
pizza.
Sorry, go ahead.
There is no red sauce, but there is a lot of cheese. So essentially a non-red sauce pizza with all of the Big Mac stuff. And it's tastier than you might think.
But you said you got the Big Mac sauce. Is that not in substitute to the marinara of the pizza sauce?
Yeah, it is. It's substituted.
Okay.
Exactly. There's no pizza sauce.
That's what's spread as the base, and you put all the Big Mac toppings on top. Does that include the cold?
Yeah, it's got pickles. With pickles are cooked, but then they put lettuce on top. That's
Lettuce
cold.
on top. After they bake it, they put lettuce onto it before they toss it in the box and give it to you. Nice.
And please tell me they put sesame seeds on the dough.
Yeah, the dough is perfect because it's almost a pretzel-y. The dough they use, it is a sesame crust.
Love that.
But it's almost pretzel-y. Like it's a really good flavor. I love it. It's the pug's favorite crust too. If anyone was wondering about, how the pugs rank crust, he's a big fan of the sesame seed crust.
Big fan. Boof. He heard his name.
He agrees. He agrees.
Woof.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, so we got off on pizza there for a bit, but congrats on saving your pizza from the car roof. I'm glad it wasn't out there in the storm.
Oh, it was
Is it
the
still
best.
snowing there for you, Andrew?
That's the funny part. I was all freaking out when we were talking about doing the shows. Like, we're recording Saturday instead of our usual Friday slot. I was like, okay, I have to go pick up Mo, so I'm not going to be around. Let's record. Like, are you guys okay recording? Either taking a break this week or going Saturday instead, and so we decided to go Saturday. But then I was like, oh crap, look at the weather. Driving home from Michigan, I saw the Indiana weather report said we're getting 3 inches of snow down in Indianapolis, and I was like, oh crap, because usually that means they are 10 miles from Lake Michigan. That means they're right in the wake, the window, the shadow of Lake Michigan's lake effect
Right.
snow.
They can get lake effect like we do.
If we get 3 inches, they're usually getting 2 to 3 feet of snow. Like no fucking joke. That's just like like a Buffalo people are used to that sort of thing. Like the Toronto people are used to that sort of thing. They're not used to this sort of thing down here in Indianapolis. But like 2 or 3 feet of snow is a usual thing up in Gully, Michigan. You know what I mean? So I drive up there and I'm like, oh God, the weather's going to be terrible. If they're getting 3 inches of snow, they're going to get like a foot in Gully. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go up there, get home real quick. So I wake up early and expected to see it starting to snow and everything starting to stick. There's nothing on the ground up there. When I wake up, I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. And Tori called me. She's like, we got 3 inches of snow last night. I'm like, this never ever happens that Indianapolis gets more snow than
unless the storm doesn't hit them, which must have been the case here.
It almost always veers north, but it stayed south this time.
We're snowing right now here in Buffalo, but probably going to get 5 inches, maybe 6 at most. We've got about 2 or 3 right now.
Yeah, that's enough to make Indianapolis people go, oh, geez, that's a lot of snow. But you Buffalo people are like, oh, whatever, it's only 5 inches, it's only 6 inches of snow.
This is only our 5th snowfall this year. We've had 4, but none of them stayed more than 2 or 3 days. It's been really, really mild on the snowfall front.
This is our first accumulating snow. Anyway, another horribly long digression away from Jess's gameplay. Sorry about that.
My gameplay. Yeah, let's get into that. So, but I appreciated hearing yours and pizzas and all that. So for me, let's get a little Fallout in. I did get some Fallout played this week.
Sorry. Can I be a one last dickhead before we veer way too far away? Because I really wanted to bring this up. In the Midwest recently, Jess and Ray, I don't know if you would find this disgusting like I would. This new pizza, before we get too far away from pizza, it's very trendy to have the mustard and pickle pizza. They don't have any marinara sauce on it. It's mustard that still has cheese and stuff on it, but mustard is your sauce. Could you tolerate that? A mustard pizza? Well, Ray, I know you couldn't do the cheese, but could you do a mustard pizza and pickles? You into that?
It sounds a little gross. Are we talking a spicy mustard or just a nice French's yellow mustard?
Yeah, it's yellow. It's nothing. Because I could get into some stone ground, so I could get into some browns, that sort of stuff. I
don't want to judge without trying it. I could maybe do a pizza that had honey mustard if there were other good flavors mixed in, but it doesn't sound that appetizing, no.
And does some sort, by definition, what is pizza? Does the red sauce make it a pizza? No, I guess you could have other sauces, but that's not even a pizza. That's some sort of flatbread abomination to me. You know what I mean? That's terrible.
Yeah, I just don't see the point.
I don't know, but that was I've seen that's been a big thing in the Midwest, at least the last year I've seen that a bunch. All right, sorry, Jess. Another horrible digression away from your
I can't believe you interrupted gameplay for mustard pizza of all things. That is good wasteland food.
With pickles.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that salvages the mustard pizza. My goodness. I just don't know it. I think I'd have to see what you're talking about to even understand it. But yeah, I shut the door now. The pug was being a little bit, I think he heard pizza talk.
No, he heard
his favorite food.
He heard food talk and he knew it was dinner time.
That's awesome.
Come on,
but
Mama.
yeah, so Fallout, it's funny. So after the show last week, I was all getting a little hype on Starfield and doing some stuff, but over the New Year's Eve weekend, I didn't actually end up playing that much Starfield. I did get some, over the course of the week, but what I did instead was some serious TV catch up. I caught up. So I finally watched all of Wheel of Time second season, which I had, mentioned. I really enjoyed first season. I'm a big Wheel of Time fan. And second season, they did better. First season was a little bit too quick, jumped a lot. Second season, just want to give a quick shout out to it. So I watched it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and did the whole season. Really, really good. I highly recommend it if you're a Wheel of Time fan or have been interested at all if you're a fantasy fan.
I only heard, I don't know Wheel of Time. I haven't read the books, but I've only heard people complaining, and I didn't know if that was like the same sort of phenomenon that the release of Fallout 76 met. You know what I mean? Like it's just a lot of stupid people not really knowing what they're talking about, or if it actually sucked.
No, it definitely doesn't suck. In fact, first season Wheel of Time, while it wasn't perfect, it actually was better than I expected, because a lot of times adaptations of books off to TV lean into the teen drama. You know, they're done CW style. It's a little bit too much drama, too much silliness like that. And there was a bit of it, but not too much. There were some standout episodes. The biggest complaint was that it did skip, more than half of the stuff in the books. It just skipped a lot. But there were some standout episodes, so that was good. Second season was better. I enjoyed that.
Nice.
So yeah, I caught up in that. I also finally, it's been years, but I'm finally catching up on Doctor Who. We have a new Doctor happening, and so I needed to catch up on the old.
Oh, nice. Is this another lady by chance?
No, actually. So I did. I stopped in the middle of Jodie's run. I stopped
you didn't
watching.
finish Jodie?
Nope, I stopped in the middle of Jodie's run for various reasons. I wasn't happy with some of the stories. I also, without getting into it, it was hard to watch alone because it was very much James and my thing. So my favorite show, but hard to watch alone. But I got to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's do it. And I wanted to catch up. I wanted to finish Jodie's stuff. I wanted to see the new Doctor. There were some specials where Tennant came back, and then we got to the new Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa. So I watched a lot of that. So that was a lot of my weekend. But I got some Fallout 76 in there too. Wanted to get some levels, get some ranks. And so I did get my weeklies done for the week, some of the dailies. On Monday was a fun thing. So talking with some of our Modus Files crew, one thing that they'd been doing for Jingle Scorch, because of course that was done on Tuesday as well, this past Tuesday. So wanted to get in there and get some presents while we could. Get some gifts. And one thing that they'd found was, how always when you're on a private server with friends doing a long queen, like doing a queen where you make your last, 20, 30 minutes, it's a great way to get XP during double XP, especially because, well, you just keep getting waves of enemies every time she lands. Well, what a few friends realized was that if you do it the old school way in a nuke zone, so not just doing a long queen, but doing a long queen in a nuke zone, she actually lands more and you get more scorched. And by getting more scorched, ergo, via V, you get more jingle scorched. So I'm like, okay, this is an awesome revelation because I did not know that you would get more scorched if you fought the queen in a nuke zone. So they were doing some 30-minute queens in a nuke zone. I joined in for several. And I was getting about 2 or 3 levels of queen. Ended up getting 6, 7 levels in a night that way, at least, and a whole bunch of presents. Because, obviously handcrafted gifts from the Jingle Scorched are still the best. We all know that you have a, higher likelihood of getting things from it. But every queen, by the time it was done, I'd probably, I don't know, at least 30 presents. I'd have 3 to 5 large. I'd have a good 5 or 6 regular holiday gifts, and then, the rest would be small. But it was a lot. So after that, all those levels, a good bit of XP to help towards my rank on the scoreboard, and opening all those gifts. I don't have everything, but I'm close. I got my plastiforms, my honeycombs, my outfits, all that good stuff.
Plastiforms. Nice.
Jerry messaging. I just got a message from Jerry. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm recording the Fallout feed. You will hear this later. Shout out to Jerry. But anyway,
Jerry.
Yeah, so that was some great Fallout play. That was really good. But since the Jingle Scorched and all that, I haven't been in the rest of the week. So the last 3 days when I have played, besides doing a little bit of that TV catch I was doing, has been Starfield. So y'all know my goal, I've been saying it for 3 weeks now, is I want to finish Starfield. And then I got to the point in the quest where I, had trouble and I was taking the wrong people. So I switched to Barrett, and it's been the Barrett and Jess show for the last 2 weeks. Well, the Barrett and Jess show did continue this week. He's just, honestly, I don't know, maybe changed my mind. I really enjoy having his companion. The commentary is pretty funny.
Wait. I thought the purpose of having him as your companion was remind me exactly so you could
That someone's going to die, and one of the people who's going to die is, going to be one of the people who has a higher affinity with you.
Okay.
Spoilers, but there are multiple ways it can go, so that's not 100%. And so I was kind of Barrett's going to be sacrificial, and I guess he still will be, but we've been having fun, so I haven't wanted to go back and do that quest.
That's the point. You take in the horrible thing that you want to sacrifice. You can kill that thing, but you kept it around too long, Jess.
I'm the person who has never sacrificed a companion to in Skyrim to any of the Daedra or anything like that either. I don't.
You can't name the chicken, Jess. Otherwise, it's harder to slaughter for meat later. Right?
Oh, but little Helena Bach is adorable.
You cannot name the chicken, otherwise.
That's exactly the problem. So my goal this week, though, I'm like, let's keep making headway on achievements and exploration. So I wanted to finally get the achievement for landing on 100 planets, because there is an achievement for that. And I was only at somewhere in the 60s. I'd visited like 70 some systems, but I only landed on 60 some planets. So happy to report, I have landed on 100 planets. I popped that achievement last night, which excited. That was fun. It's funny, but really, if you pick a system with a lot of places, just land on every moon, every planet. It's a little repetitive. It's a little bit of a grind, but it's neat because each one you get to say, oh, well, here's the atmosphere landscape on this one. Here's what generates nearby. One thing that was neat was I had to really force myself not to get out and explore them, because I did fully explore a couple too. As you know, you will when you do this. It's hard to resist. You're like, oh, flora's abundant and fauna. Oh, and you open photo mode when you first get there to see if there's a cool view, and then you see these cute little aliens out there. And you're like, I really want to check that out. But I resisted more than not. I popped that achievement. I did explore some cool planets. Is it Linnaeus? No, because I'd already done the Linnaeus system. It's one that starts with an L, though. I fully explored everything there. Maybe Lantana. Is there a Lantana system, Ray? Do you remember?
Yeah, I usually have a base there.
Yeah, I like Lantana. I think Lantana 1 or 2 was an awesome.
Yeah, copper and lead.
Yeah, I did find some great resource locations, but I think it's Lantana 1 or 2. Super abundant flora and fauna, like 10 of each, and some really cool zones. So I did fully explore some, and that was a great time. Systems, I'm up to about 90 systems. So in order to get the achievement for exploring all systems, it's called, I think you technically need like 122, and you can only get that as you finish the game, or when you do New Game Plus, because it includes visiting systems in the next one too. So a lot of people have popped it on their second or third New Game Plus. I'm not there yet. I'm actually trying to get every system in the first game. So little by little, I'm lighting them all up, landing on planets, but that's been fun. And then, kind of makes you wonder how you're going to level. Like, what's the best way to level for that? So in Starfield, for the leveling, I do feel the quest XP versus crafting versus surveying and combat creatures is off. I think I've hinted at it before, but I will say I think the balance is just dead wrong. The fact that I, as a character, can do 8 to 10 quests and not get a level, get a 75 XP, 100 XP. If it's a main story quest, maybe 300 XP. But when you're in level 60s and you need 6,000 XP to level up, that's a drop in the bucket. Quests take a while. Now, admittedly, when you're completing a quest, there is incidental XP. So if there's combat involved in the quest, or there's more to it, you're going to get XP that way. So it does lead to leveling up some. But I still feel like the balance is off. I don't know. Traditionally, in my mind, the hierarchy of XP is that quests should give more. Do you have an opinion on that, you guys?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, I wanted to get a character to level 60. And, at that point, he was level 40. So I went to the Serpentis system and just went round and around Serpentis. And within just a couple of hours was level 60.
Yeah, ship combat we've talked about, especially once you unlock Starborn ships, is great XP. And then going to a planet, right? Going to a planet and farming the fauna is great XP if you find some high level planets with good fauna.
Yeah, if you find the right ones. But even that's kind of hard. I mean, if by the time you go to all the trouble of leveling up your skills to be able to, build on the planets that have the best animals, and then do all the research to be able to unlock all the high level habitation.
I'm not talking that kind of farming, but yeah, there's the evil farming where you start an outpost with an animal colony just to raise them and kill them and slaughter them. Like, no, I was not talking. It's like going there and hunting.
Oh. That's just that's a.
I mean, the evil way is seriously good XP, but even just to say you're going to the Schrodinger fox bats are one people like, or the planet Ixel with all those striders and all the really aggressive enemies there. You can get a lot of XP if you go to a high level planet with aggressive enemies, but you still got to hunt down pockets. So, you'll get 3 or 4, and then you got to travel a little bit, get 3 or 4. But still, if you're getting 80 to 125 XP per kill, that's way more than a quest. I can easily find a pocket of 4 enemies and take them out in a 10th the time of doing a quest on a quick one, and 100th the time on a long quest, So yeah, I think quest XP is off. But anyway, I was doing all that for leveling. I went from, I believe I was 67 a week ago. I'm now, is that right? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, I got like 4 levels in Starfield, at least 2, on top of my levels in 76. It was a very leveling week for me. Oh, live report. I'm sorry, Andrew. Anyway. His Colts just lost everybody.
It's not technically over yet, but you know what I mean. It's over.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. So anyway, I got some levels. That was good. The other way I did it, besides doing some the survey, when you survey a planet fully, that's good XP. And surveying a system, you get more there. Crafting is a great way to get XP, as silly as it is. I went and redid the outpost loop, revisited my outposts. I've had a few set up that are perfect for the adaptive frames, the Tau grade rheostats, the whoosy whatsits and wingamabobs. There are a couple different ones that I have, matched together. And that still works great, but it's such a silly way to get XP. I end up weighing 3,000, 4,000 pounds, waddling to my ship, taking damage, put as much as I can in the hold, and then go to Neon and sell it all. But it just feels cheesy. It's not fulfilling. The most fulfilling way to level right now is just fighting in creatures. And I feel like it should be exploration, surveying, and quests. So, personal opinion.
Yeah. There's not enough, real game play reasons to explore, and there really should be.
Yeah, we could totally use more.
Yeah, I mean, you should be able to get just as much XP from completely wandering around the planet and doing your surveying, and instead of scanning creatures, kill them, so you get the scan credit for that.
I mean, you do get both. You gotta scan at least one, but you can kill the rest. So
no, you can kill them all.
I thought you always had to scan at least one in order to get credit for that. Oh, okay, but you can 100% them via killing. Cool. Oh, yeah. I found a neat planet.
Because I've accidentally done that before.
The thing about doing this, though, the landing on 100 planets and getting sucked into surveying and scanning and all that, like I did, is you do find some really neat places. Like, there is some beautiful flora and formations here. And I mentioned that I didn't get out of the ship that much, like a lot of planets I didn't, but I would find that with the procedurally generated, what it loads, like the different content, while there was almost always a human outpost of some kind nearby, I got so many different ones, that they're similar, but there are a lot in the pool to choose from. So I thought that was neat, like seeing all the different formations of things you could find. And I did explore a few. Like I got out and did a bionics lab, and I know I say I don't you do that stuff unless I have a quest, but because I was landing on so many, I got tempted and did a few.
Oh, yeah, especially when they're just right there.
Right, they're right there, and they're ones maybe you haven't done before. Oh, there's a hilarious one. So I think it's the bionics lab. Yeah, it is. Funny thing about that one is when your ship is larger, the parking job, I actually slammed my cockpit into the building. Like my ship was a little bit too large. It was stuck in the building. So I couldn't get in through the front door. I had to enter through the back because the front door was blocked by my ship. Like the nose just kind of right in there on the door. That was funny. I found a really cool location. So coolest one I found yet on one of these planets was obviously abandoned like most things, but it was a botany lab of sorts. Have you seen one of these? It's a huge botany facility and it's got trees and water all around it. And then you can go in and it's essentially, I won't spoil it, but as you know, like usual, people are dead. But there's a multi-part to it. It's where the kind of plants got to control like a Vault 22 situation a little bit. And then the local wildlife broke in. And it's really fun to explore, really cool vibes. And it's a multi-part thing where as you go through each of these regions and then exit, it'll actually spawn some enemies in to fight you. And there are steps, procedures that have to happen. So I thought that was a really neat one too. It's one of the most advanced ones I've done. It was almost like some of these random locations do have a full quest attached. And this wasn't really a quest as in like you had steps to do, but the game had steps. Once you go in, you explore up to this point. When you exited, you were at 50%. Then you'd exit, you'd hit 75%, and some clickback would show up, and you finish them, and you explore more, and you get 100%. So it was kind of checking off the levels, if that makes sense. Well, I bring that up because this also caused problems. So Jess tried to fast travel to her ship from inside the facility, and I got a new bug glitch that I hadn't seen yet, where I spawned to my ship, but it was gone. Not the way that before, like my ship would just disappear and it would lock up. I essentially got the frame of my ship only, so all the structural components and stuff were gone. But you could see the full skeleton of the ship from inside. So I took some pictures and I shared them in the Discord. And it was just really neat because the cool thing about this view is that you see the interiors of all the habs, like almost like a game board. You know what I mean? Like you're putting them together and it just felt neat. And I would love if we could get a view like that during the build system. We talked a lot about how placement of doors and ladders and stuff. Like we would love to see that. If the game would just let you see this view that I got via a glitch when you're building, that would really, really help if you could toggle it on and off.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that looked really cool, and was like, a little, drool inducing, to be able to build a ship and see what it looks like without having to exit out.
That would be so awesome. Yeah, as it was a little bit frightening because I wasn't sure what would happen after that happened to my ship, but I was able to get out. And when I was actually exited the ship and on the outside looking at it, it's almost all invisible at that point, but you can see anything you have attached to the outside there floating. So I had like floating windows and a few things, but I couldn't see most of the ship. Well, I was worried it would stick. I saved the game, I went back and forth a couple times, and I managed to take off in the skeleton ship into space. And even though camera was locked, if you enter first person and then back to third person, it unlocks. So I could fly and fight with my ship. But of course, all my turrets and most of my cannons were missing. It would only fire the ones that were facing forward that were attached to the main section. But that was neat. But I reloaded, and luckily, going back, to the save prior to that, my ship did come back. Well, I have to report now because I didn't talk about this in Discord. Apparently, this is a new bug with my game and ship complexity. Because when I finally went and said, okay, we're going to do the mission. We're going to turn in the artifacts. We're going to go to the eye and start the high price to pay mission. When I go into the lodge and back out, my ship is now doing that again. So last thing this morning that I saved, my ship was a skeleton ship in New Atlantis on the dock. And I think when I reload that save, it should reappear. And if not, I'll have to go back and see, okay, what can I do? But I can't fast travel from inside something when there's a complex mission going on. It seems, and like this is another complex mission, the one that takes you to the eye and all that, from the lodge to it directly. So I'll see what I have to do and if it can load. But I'm a little worried. We will see. One last thing. All the kind of random exploration that came with playing this way, trying to get the achievement for 100 planets and all that. I got some new random encounters, which were fun. There was one that, and I don't know if you guys have seen this, I ran into somebody flying a Kepler S. So the ship that you designed for the over-designed quest for Walter, I actually found someone flying one out in space, and she's like, I'm just trying to get used to this new ship. And I'm like, what do you think? She's like, well, I don't know. It's not that great. I'm like, you can say like, I helped design that. Or you can say like, really, I really thought it was a good design. And she'd be like, wow, you seem more excited about it than I am. I don't know. It was just a really funny random encounter about the Kepler S.
Yeah, I haven't done that mission, so I don't get that.
You can probably get it for the Kepler R2, I imagine. Yeah, looking to the future again with Starfield, there's a lot of stuff we'd like to see. I'm still loving this playthrough. I'm having so much trouble getting to the end of it because I keep wanting to play. I've done more on Neon. I went back. I did a lot of Paradiso. I don't think I mentioned this last week that I went back and did everything I could in Paradiso and a few extra things. But looking to the future, I do want to see some Outpost expansion improvements. Steve's saying that in chat too. That he thinks there will be an Outpost-based DLC like Contraptions and Workshop in Fallout 4. And I agree. We need some serious improvements there. Whether you can start building them up like
walls.
Settlements. Yes, please.
Being able to wall in your Outpost.
And actually free place builder. Yeah. In my experimentation, I've been trying to build an Outpost out of other things. So you can get like wall cabinets and the chests and stuff like that. So I've stacked up to kind of make like fake walls.
I've seen people use the storage containers.
Mm-hmm.
Because those you can do are they the ones you can do 2 stories? I don't remember which one they were using, but one of them they were making these containers 2 stories tall.
There are some shelves that are definitely, you can do 2 stories for sure. Yeah, they're huge.
And so they made this perimeter around the outpost.
There are so many good missions, like I said, I'm having trouble finishing up and leaving, even though I have just about exhausted what's available. I think my total quest's done now. I'm at 190 something. And I still haven't done the Ryujin quest line or the Crimson Fleet quest line because I'm saving that for my second playthrough still. So that's so many random quests and side quests. I keep finding more. There's just so much.
There's so much out there.
and I feel like people miss so much of it, but I still haven't, like, there are more ships too. There are more ships to find out there. Like, there are some abandoned ones I've heard of, haven't found. I had one with an abandoned picker up. Like, when you find a disabled ship and you go in and you have to basically like fix it, repair it, restart it to claim it. That kind of stuff is just really neat.
Yeah. One more thing on the shipbuilding.
Mm-hmm.
I've really, really, really enjoyed Kenny's video series.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Ken.
Being able to see all the different things, realize so many of the different pieces have the random where 2 of the workshop habs have the research station, but the other
Right.
4 don't.
Yep.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, knowing that about workshops is good. When I realized that the Nova Galactic all-in-one residential 1 has the research station in it, I now use that instead of one of the workshops with it. But you get a research station in that by default. Yeah,
that's the Frontier.
Yeah, the one that looks very much like the Frontier. Yep.
Yeah. I found the same thing with the Armory when I was doing the ship full of brigs. There's one Armory that has a brig in it. And so I made sure to use that one, even though all the other parts were from a different maker. I didn't care, because I needed as many brigs as I could.
That's such a fun idea for a quest. A lot of people are mentioning that mod, that usable brigs mod too. I'm seeing it in a lot of other Starfield chats.
Yeah. It's just such a fantastic idea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's the point of having a brig if you can't lock people up in it?
I mean, amen, right?
Yep.
Put him in the brig. Well, that's pretty much my gameplay.
Yeah.
I've downloaded, I always say the winner is when I try a lot of small games, and I downloaded a bunch, but I didn't really dabble with them. I used my extra time to catch up on TV instead of it's winter. It's winter, you do that. But I've got a bunch of little games to play. So I think we have a game coming up.
couple of thoughts here real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Before we move on, you mentioned Jodie Whittaker.
Yes.
I really liked her, and there's this really nice movie called Get Santa, which I'm a really big fan of, and I loved that movie for a long time. And then I saw that she was gonna be the Doctor, and I haven't watched Doctor Who yet, but like she is enough to almost make me want to like go watch modern Doctor Who. But like I thought that movie is really super sweet, and I
I've never seen Good Santa,
it.
but it has Warwick Davis in it, right?
Yeah, and Rafe Spall or whatever that guy's name is. He's in a ton of awesome British movies. I really like that guy. And also it's got Jim Broadbent. You know Jim Broadbent? I fucking love Jim Broadbent.
I love that dude.
He's so fucking great. But anyway, it's a really cute movie. And one other thing. What counts as landing on a planet? Because I am so blown away that you haven't landed on 100 planets. How could you've not landed on 100 planets yet?
It's not land on a planet 100 times. New Atlantis only counts once. So I may have landed on New Atlantis, 30 times, but it only counts as one when I do that.
Yeah, but you haven't discovered 100 new planets?
I've discovered them, sure, but haven't landed on them necessarily. But you find them in a system, maybe you scan from space, but you have to actually physically land on them and have it generate a landing zone and all that.
Yeah, so that follow-up question, when you're jumping to a far-off destination, you don't ever, like, jump and then land and then get back in space and then jump and then land?
Only when I want to explore, yeah, if there's a reason to land. But, people complain about the loading screens, which really aren't that bad, but that's one place where you are going to get them. And also, it's more stuff for the game to keep track of. And I've found that people who are super into surveying, and like some of the people like Irresolute Cartographer or Drip over on Twitter, like who are, their biggest thing about Starfield gameplay is surveying and cataloging all the creatures and all that, which is great for the wikis. And they have been the ones who reported the most, like after 400 or 500 hours, that their game is laggier. They're getting more lag. The loading screens are longer. The saves take longer to load. And I feel like the more of that information your game's keeping track of, the laggier your game gets. So I've even noticed a difference. I would say kind of pushing through and getting 30 more planets landed on. My loading time's probably changed by maybe it's just my perception, but I feel like it's a good 25% longer. Like I am getting longer load screens now compared to what I was even a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I remember that being a hindrance in Skyrim on the PS3.
They're still relatively quick, and a lot of them are optional. You don't really need to. People talk about 6 loading screens to get to a place. The truth is, you can be standing in the middle of New Atlantis, open your map, navigate to Aquila City, and one load screen, you're in Aquila City. You know what I mean? You don't need to go to the ship and go to space and go to the planet and go to... You don't need to do all that. So only the first time, which is kind of like every other Bethesda game where you actually have to discover the place first. But yeah, that's my gameplay.
And the XP balance issue was, you think that adventuring, it gets an unfair balance of XP compared to like building or something? Is that what the...
Never nerf. Don't take away any XP, please. If there's one thing I could tell every game out there, looking at you, Diablo 4, do not nerf something. Give us more XP for quests. Don't give us less XP for enemies.
Yeah, don't do that.
Make my guns do more damage. Don't make them do less damage.
All right, you guys. So I've got a little something called Helter Shelter that I have prepared. Or Jess, would you like to do our New Year, New You exercise?
Let's do a little Helter Shelter.
All right, you guys. So this week for
What time is it?
Game Time, I've prepared a little game we are calling
Shelter.
Thank you, Freighter, for Helter Shelter. So tonight on Helter Shelter, let's explain very quickly how this will work. In Fallout Shelter, when you open up the menu, you can look and see the checklist of every collectible item in Fallout Shelter. It has a card with a picture of that said item and a funny little quote that goes with it down below. I am going to give you in 4 different categories. There are 3 questions each. And in these questions, I'm going to give you those funny little quips. What I want you to shout back to me, what item are these quips describing in Fallout Shelter?
Okay. I like this. Yeah, I thought you were going to try to make us remember the quips, and I don't know about Ray, but I was like, no way, Andrew.
No, that's tough. I've learned better. You guys yell at me when I do things like that.
This is like when I read excerpts of a review, you had to tell me which Fallout game it was from. We can do this.
Yes, you can handle this one, you guys. I that's where you can. All right, the 4 different categories of items we have to choose from. I'll let you guys control the board, and when you get one right, you can tell us which category you want. They are weapons, armor, junk, and pets. Those are the 4 different categories we have: weapons, armor, junk, and pets. And we've got 3 categories of each, or no, 3 questions in each category. Sorry. So let's go ahead and roll into it. Chime in with your name when you know an answer, and you control the board for the next category, and I will read the next question, and then see if we can chime in again. All right, first up. Ray, I will let you choose the category: weapons, armor, junk, or pets.
Let's go with junk.
Yeah, Maddie in chat wanted junk too, so we'll start with that.
Junk.
Let them decide.
And it's not because Ray, it's because Maddie in chat wanted to go. So thank you, Maddie. All right. Great for making full grain leather jacket. 2 heads means 2 hoods.
Brahmin hide.
Brahmin hide is correct, Ray. You nailed that one out of the park. Good job. You control the board. Weapons, armor, junk, or pets.
I'll stay with junk.
Stick with junk. Level 2 junk question. Look back at the world that was, or just spin it when you're bored.
Globe.
That is the globe, Ray. Absolutely. Oh, and Jess, if you know it, go ahead and jump in too.
I didn't know I could steal. That was doing Ray.
Yes,
okay.
yes. No, Ray, you control the board. You can determine which category you want, but Jess, these are all up for grabs. Just jump in if you know the answer, okay? With your name. All right, both of you. No, Ray, determine the category. I assume junk 3.
Correct.
All right, junk 3. Both of you. This is for everyone here. Keep cats entertained and make fabulous outfits.
Jess. A ball of yarn.
Yarn
there's a
is
skein.
correct. Yes, yarn. Keep cats entertained and make fabulous outfits. Great. All right, so Jess, you control the board. That concludes the junk. We have weapons, armor, and pets.
So are there 3 levels of each or 4 levels?
3 questions
Okay.
in each level, or 3 questions in each category. Sorry.
Okay, I'll take weapons for 1, Andrew.
Let's go here. You'd be surprised how deadly high-speed junk can be. This is for both of you.
Ray, junk
Ray.
jet.
Junk jet, absolutely, Ray. Good job. You control the board again.
So it's really Jeopardy rules. This is good.
I don't know. Is that how Jeopardy? You control everyone gets to buzz in. Sure.
All right, let's go with armor.
Armor for 1. Great for fixing a leaking valve or refueling a chrysalis Corvega.
Jess.
Jess.
Mr. Handy Fuel?
No, this is armor. Ray.
Oh, duh.
Coveralls.
Yes, that I'll take that. It's called a handyman jumpsuit, but it is that the coveralls, that orange sort of coverall suit.
I
Ray, you
forgot the
control the
category.
board. Ray, you control the board. Weapons,
All right, let's
armor.
stick with clothing.
We'll stick with the armor. Yes, it should be armor and clothing. You are correct about that. Armor. The height of Vault-Tec fashion reinforced for the waists.
Jess. Armored Vault suit.
The Vault suit is correct. Good job, Jess. You control the board.
Okay, let's finish the category off. Armor for 3.
Armor for 3. Standard issue for soldiers before the Great War. Standard issue for soldiers before the Great War.
Jess. Combat armor?
It's basically the same thing. The military fatigues. Yes, I will give that.
Oh, no. I was wrong.
Okay. Ray, do you want to steal that since I gave you the answer?
No, I don't think that would be nice.
I'm sorry I blew the answer for that one, but I would have accepted that.
I would have been wrong too. I would have said the military fatigues.
You would have said that? Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Jess, I'll let you determine. The category is weapons or pets. You've already done the first category, or the first question of weapons.
Let's do weapons for 2 then.
After 20 shots, you just might knock a tin can off the fence.
Jess. You'll shoot your eye out, kid. The BB gun.
No, I want an official red undercombination 200 rifle.
Good one, the BB gun. Control the board. You got weapons for 3 or all of pets.
Weapons for 3.
For when you absolutely need to turn someone into lime gelatin.
Ray. Plasma rifle?
That is the plasma rifle. Good job, Ray. You control the board. The category is pets, so good choice, Ray. And the first question is, loyal but hungry, wants a cracker, but sugar bombs will do in a pinch.
Jess. The parrot.
The parrot. Good job, Jess. Question 2. The word classic barely does him justice.
Ray. Dog meat.
Yes, that is the German Shepherd or dog meat. Good job. Last one. Big points. Happy. Bouncy. Yellow. Happy. Jess.
Happy Fun Ball.
Very good. Basically, yes, that's what this breed of pet is. Big Steel, Ray?
No.
It is the Happy Fun Ball, known as the Golden Retriever.
Oh, okay. Cute. Okay.
Good job, you guys. That was our very first edition, and there's a billion cards. So if you like how that game rolled, maybe we could play it again. But that was our very first edition of
Shelter.
Helter Shelter on. What time is it? Game time. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, see, that's why I can't play Fallout Shelter, because parrots and golden retrievers are not canon.
Hey, wait a second. You ever played Fallout 4? If you go into the what are their mods called? They're built-in mods. The Creation Club. You go into the Creation Club, they've got these like transdogrifier things, right? And you put we've got boxers, we've got huskies, we've got golden retrievers, we've got little fuzzy dachshunds, we've got chihuahua. No, we don't have dachshunds. If we had dachshunds and chihuahuas, come on, that'd be the darn cute. Could you imagine dog meat just being a little long-haired dachshund running around? That'd be the cutest. All right.
I love it. Like pug meat. I like all the, in your cat meat.
Beautiful.
I like all the dog meat replacers. I mean, not that you can ever replace the, OG dog meat.
He's too sweet. All right. That was game time for this week. Thanks, everyone, for playing. Jess, would you like to run into our exercise? I
don't know if it's much of an exercise, but, you had mentioned last week, and we didn't really get into it. Just, we've done the last couple of years gaming resolutions. Like, what is there? New Year's resolutions are a thing. We all have a lot of the same ones, and we all have our own unique ones. But do you have a gamer resolution? Something you want to accomplish this year, a game you want to play, something you want to achieve, anything like that? And so I was thinking, because you asked, and it's funny because initially asking this is what led us to doing the Fallout 1 roundtable, was the fact that my resolution was to play Fallout 1. We're like, we're going to make it happen. And so that created a whole roundtable from that, which is great. We still haven't done 2 yet. We have to. But
wait, let me guess this year's resolution. Hang on.
No, I didn't put it on. That's other people's resolutions for me, but I'm okay. I'm okay if we don't play Fallout 2, even though we probably should, and I'm totally down for it when we do, because I hear so many things about it being one of the best. Just like
quintessential,
it introduced so much of the humor. Like, we were impressed when we went back to Fallout 1 with how much stuff was in the original game that was carried through, how much was set there. Even though obviously it changed, it's like, for instance, take VATS. Like, VATS wasn't VATS in the first 2 games, but they had the targeting system, which then became, the Vault-Tec assisted targeting system and called VATS. Tim Kaine, okay, digression, but that's what we do. Tim Kaine, we've talked before about how he's doing a series of videos on his YouTube now, kind of talking about his history as a game designer and such. He actually recently did one on VATS and where it came from, for people who don't know. And he got into how, as we know, the original Fallout and a post-apocalyptic role-playing game, as it's called, was originally based on the GURPS license. And in GURPS, they have a system in GURPS called shots, where you're not just rolling to hit, but you're rolling to hit with a called shot, which has its own set of variables and stuff. So when they lost the GURPS license, like 8 or 9 months before release, they had to retool some of the systems they've been working on for a couple of years.
What is, can you define GURPS real quick? Sorry.
GURPS is a role-playing system like D&D, separate from D&D. It's the Generic Universal Role-Playing System, or GURPS.
Okay.
It was really big in the 80s and 90s. Still going, of course. I believe it was developed by Steve Jackson Games, as opposed to not Wizard of the Coast, no, TSR, who did D&D. Oh gosh, don't stir me up, D&D fans. I know Wizards bought it and didn't originally do it. But yeah, so it's just another role play system. And of course, at this point, they've become such a big thing that there's all kinds of different systems people play in. But back in the day, GURPS was probably the second or third largest after D&D. So they had that license and they were using that. And then when they stopped, they wanted to keep a targeting system. And so they kind of changed it up and kept it in the game. Anyway, digression. Where did that come from? I don't know. But Fallout 2, probably not this year. But my first gamer resolution I do have is I need to finally, take Ray's advice after all these years. And I need to do a modded PC playthrough of Fallout 4. Like, actually install a full mod collection, because I'm installing Fallout 4 on the PC to play Fallout London. We know that's going to happen. But if I'm in there and doing that, I also need to, actually at least start a Fallout 4 playthrough fully modded with all the power of the PC. Not just what I do on the Xbox, or we all do on the Xbox, but power of the PC. I need to know. So that's one of my gamer resolutions. I don't know. Do you have one, Andrew?
I don't know if this would count. Maybe it would. I was kind of maybe hoping to start the process of setting some cash aside and starting to read a little bit into how to make your own gaming PC. I've never done that before, and you guys seem extremely knowledgeable, and plenty of people in our community are super helpful with it. So I feel comfortable around you guys that I could probably, puzzle one together.
Mr. Mac getting a gaming PC.
I could just buy. I'm not Mr. Mac. It's just that was easiest to record music on when I bought this thing back in 2012. The PC stuff, it wasn't nearly as fluid as like GarageBand and stuff is for recording. Now I feel like the Windows, sort of recording stuff is kind of caught up and is user friendly, and and everything. Anyway, there was the band is why I purchased the Macintosh. I'm not necessarily loyal. It's just like how I was PlayStation 3, but Xbox One. I didn't do PlayStation 4. Yeah, so.
Yep. It switches. Well, I mean, I know you mentioned that you wanted to maybe look into getting a gaming PC and putting one together, and to Ray and I a couple weeks ago. So that's awesome. That would be a cool resolution.
Well, I'm trying to, and this might be like a resolution for like in general in life, try to, explore how things are made in general more and use my own knowledge to like be able to, like, if something breaks, I don't want to call a repairman. I want to be able to dig into stuff to figure out how things work. That's one of my, if I had a resolution, that would be it. But I want to dig into things more, don't just toss the manual aside, actually read stuff to figure out how stuff works.
That's a great resolution. Yeah.
Yeah. And Indy's got a Micro Center now.
I know you don't know Indianapolis super well. Do you have any idea what part of town?
No clue.
No clue. Yeah. Nice. I'll look
but it's
that
closer
up.
than the one by my house.
Well, I've got an aunt in Atlanta, and we're thinking about coming to visit, so it might not be too far, Ray.
You and Ray can go shopping. Either your neck of the woods or his. Who knows?
You anywhere
Yeah.
near?
I mean, it's only an 8-hour drive up there. I'd be there at a weekend.
you in a weekend? Do you know how far you are from Powder Springs, Georgia? Is that a haul? I know sometimes you're like, oh, it's just outside of Atlanta. That can be a 3-hour drive, depending on where outside of Atlanta you are.
Well, yeah, pretty much anything in Atlanta is a 3-hour drive. But,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not too bad. At least it's on the
northern half
Powder
of
Springs.
the city.
I think it's on the north side. Yeah.
I have no recollection. They used to be in Marietta, but now they moved to Powder Springs.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was we used to visit every Thanksgiving. It was always wonderful to visit Georgia that time of year.
Yeah, I'm always down to build a PC. So
yeah, great. So let's put one together, you guys.
Done.
Or we'll have a budget meeting later.
Okay.
that could be Ray's gamer resolution to help Andrew with it, because I don't know if you have one, Ray, or not.
I don't typically do resolutions. It just doesn't fit my style. But if I were to do a resolution, it would be to not play less games this year.
Oh, that's a good one. Play as many or more.
Yeah, that is a good resolution. I love that.
Yeah.
Any particular?
There's only so many hours in a day, so I have to be realistic.
Any particular gaming you do want to get to? Anything you want to revisit that you haven't played in a long time? Anything like that?
I still don't want to play any third-person games.
Have you ever played one that you liked? Or it's always a killer. That's your thing.
It's always been the only one that I played that I liked, but not enough to get through the second game was Mass Effect.
Yep.
So yep. I liked it enough in the first game to start the second one, but then got about halfway through and said, "Forget this crap."
Yeah, by the time you hit that collector ship or whatever in the middle, the second game is even more of a shooter than the first. They're still great RPGs, but I can imagine that wearing on you. But even though the second is so good with the story and stuff. Yeah, Silly Words, really, I loved ME2. Yeah, it's just the third person thing for Ray.
Yeah.
You're not dissing the game at all. It's just third person.
I liked Valhalla. I really wanted, or not Valhalla, what's it? Valheim.
Mm-hmm.
And really wanted to play that game. Had a good time. Played with Victor a few times, but just couldn't get over the third person. It just for whatever reason, it just doesn't click in my brain.
I get used to it game by game, but like for your sake, well, for your sake, I don't know if you're interested, but when the Indiana Jones game comes out, that Arcane Leon is working on, they've always done first person with Dishonored and such, and in Deathloop. And I wonder, are they going to do third person action adventure for Indiana Jones, or is it going to be first person? I kind of hope first, since that's what most of us prefer. But I know Andrew is probably an indie fan.
I do like Indiana Jones, but I've never. The only Indiana Jones game I've ever played were their Lego ones.
Yeah, well, because the other ones weren't great, and so
I never even tried
this
them. I don't know.
should be. So I hope there's a third person for you, and first person for Ray. I hope there's an option.
I'm kind of baffled, blown away. The Mass Effect didn't have a first person mode. Like,
yeah,
I think I tried that game once forever ago, but
I think it's because of some of the tactic systems that they use.
Yep.
The squad based stuff that just doesn't really work.
Classic over the shoulder kind of squad based. And you look at their history, where they're coming from. Like, they came directly from making D&D games like Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights into Jade Empire and KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic. And so that was very much kind of isometric to like then squad control, and you got in close. And so for Dragon Age, they went deeper in there. And for Mass Effect, they're like, okay, let's get in close. But they'd never done a first person Bioware who did that. And so, yeah, and that was at the time kind of the default. First person games where people do it for shooters and Bethesda games. That's kind of it. Like, other games do it, but it's not as common.
Really?
Yeah,
I kind of thought that would be a thing, that like in all shooter games, that you could back out to third person or first.
Oh no, a lot of games it's one or the other. You take Cyberpunk, that Ray's playing. That's all first person, right? There's no third person mode yet.
No, that's very disappointing.
And you do your Halo and almost all those shooters, with the Doom lineage on, and they tend to all be either straight first person, or then you get the Gears and the more action adventure kind of shooters, and those are all third person. So yeah, they usually pick a lane and stick with it. But I guess my only other gamer resolution, if I had one, is I do want to start doing some Starfield videos too.
Oh, right, great.
Yeah, because as a solo game, there's a lot to say and do about the game and in the game, and the reason it's a different vibe. And it's funny because people in the group have asked me when I was going to for a long time, especially the first 2 months it was out when I was living in it. But a lot of my videos, especially the last couple of years, streams and videos have all been involving multiple people. You know what I mean? It's like doing camp tours with other people or doing a group event with people. And so this would all be kind of like a just me content again, which I used to do more of, but haven't as much lately. So, but yeah, hopefully jump in and do that. Maybe even some opinion videos, rile up those.
Nice. I've got a name.
Real YouTuber.
I've got a name for you.
Oh.
United Spacelanders. Huh?
Yeah, it has a ring to it. Well, I mean, we've been saying that. Wasteland or Spaceland, absolutely.
That's creative, and no one's come up with that one yet. You're free to use that one.
I'll still be YouTubing under my own name, and with the Twitch, after doing all the great holiday events like that, probably the Twitch, I'm probably changing the name on too. But we'll see.
For some reason, I had a second to look for I had to search for it when I was looking for the video the other day. I was looking for your YouTube. Remind me again. Is it just Jess Star or Jessica Star? What is it?
Yeah, Jessica Star.
Okay,
yeah, Jessica hyphen Star.
Oh, hyphen Star. Okay.
Yeah, you can find me. I've had a named channel forever. You can even look at youtube.com/Crimslet, CRIMSLET was my original name, and that still works too.
Crimslet, nice.
Yeah, it's the username I used to use way back in the day.
Sweet.
Still there. Funny, but there you go. But yeah. Anyway, so that's it for resolutions. Do you want to get into some iguana bits?
All right, let's roll up for roll call and iguana bits.
Jessica, to the office, please. Jessica, to the office. Your iguana bits are ready. Please come pick them up.
Oh, she sounds concerned. You better be ready for her, Jess.
Thanks, Jess. Well, believe it or not, I am. And I am excited because look at all the iguana bits on this tray. Okay, this is amazing. We've got a fresh heaping today. So first thing I want to fresh heaping. What even is that? Fresh helping.
Fresh heaping of iguana bits.
Nom nom nom. No, to be honest, it's been a little bit slow again, like the last couple of weeks, but there has been more. So one thing I wanted to mention is the Fallout: The Magic the Gathering theme decks. So those were announced last year, and we got a look in October, but there have been a number of more articles on them. They just did another showing. They did a little demonstration video of some of the cards, and they showed a lot more of the cards. So I just wanted to remind people about those coming up. So the Fallout: The Magic the Gathering decks should be released on March 8th. March is going to be a busy month for Fallout for sure, but March 8th is when the Magic the Gathering Fallout releases. And just to kind of refresh people on it, so they're going to be Commander-style decks, which means you get a full complete deck you can buy and play with, with the various mana or however they're going to do with that for Fallout. But they're themes, so each deck has a theme. So there's the Scrappy Survivors, which is led by Dogmeat. Dogmeat's your commander there, and he's got like sun, fire, and plant mana, because they're still using classic mana for this. You've got the Mutant Menace deck, and the commander of that one is the Wise Mothman, which I just think is awesome. And their mana is what? Water, death, what? Swamp? Is it swamp or is it death? Radiation? I don't know what it's going to be for for the Fallout version, but yeah, it's the water, skulls, and plants. Then you've got the Hail Caesar deck. Here I said that.
No.
Sorry, the Hail Caesar deck.
No.
And of course, the commander of that one is Caesar, Legion's Emperor. And then the final deck is Science!
Science!
With an exclamation point.
I love
And the
that.
commander for that one, oddly enough, is Dr. Madison Lee from Fallout 3 and 4. You'd think that you might get, like, I don't know, like, if you didn't go for Father or someone like that, that you would go for, say, like Arcade from New Vegas or something. Can you imagine if they did Mr. Fantastic as the commander? I would have died. I hope he's a card in there. We haven't seen all the cards yet. But yeah, so that's coming up March 8th. If you're a Magic fan or a Fallout fan, get in there. You can pre-order now. Pre-orders are open. And I am wicked excited to get the decks and play with people.
Nice. Have either of you ever played Magic and or combative card games like that? Jess, you sound like you have, right?
Oh, a ton. Yeah, I played Magic when it first came out, and then Pokemon was more my thing.
Oh, nice.
I've done others too.
No, I don't. I really don't know the rules well, but Mo and I, like, ever since he's gotten some Pokemon and a few cards here and there, like, we've tried to play the Pokemon. That's actually really fun to play the little card game. What I understand of it, I'm sure we're not playing it correctly, but it's that's really fun. Like, that's the only exposure I've ever had was that Pokemon cards.
Yeah, in high school, a lot of people were playing Magic. Like, it was a big thing, and then Pokemon just, I'm a big fan of Pokemon. So, but I haven't kept up with it at all. So Magic, the last decade and a half, I only know about, through friends mostly.
Is there a ton of D&D Magic crossover?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the setting's different, but I was actually talking with Tim Twig about Magic the other day. Tim's a friend, so people may know. And he was talking about how the original genesis of Magic was the guy who created it was trying to figure out a way, how can I have the fun of a campaign or a D&D adventure or whatever in my off time, but a quick one, like in a night. How can I do like a campaign or a D&D module in just like a small sit down with friends in like an evening or even a lunch break or something? And so he was actually trying to extrapolate how to translate D&D to cards, and that's partly how Magic was born, which I thought was neat.
So Magic is not necessarily an ongoing dedicated event like a D&D campaign would be necessarily, right?
No, but it has settings. Magic, every year or two has new sets coming out. It has got its own lore. It's got a primary setting, which I don't know the name of right now, but it's got that primary setting that a bunch of them have come out of, and then it's got a number of one-offs, and they spread it quite a bit with these theme decks because Fallout's not the only one they're doing. But the Fallout theme deck looks fun. It looks really well thought out, and so I'm psyched to play.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Otter's trying to knock everything over again.
Well, so besides that, the other iguana bits I kind of wrote down was just kind of a little overview. So because there hasn't been much in the news specifically the last 2 weeks, but we are at the precipice of a new year. And you mentioned seeing, like a video or two about this, Andrew. It's like at the end of the year, we kind of look back on the year. And then at the beginning of the year, people are like, let's look forward to the year. Okay. And I'm not going to pull a juice head here and say 2024 is going to be insane for Fallout. You'll never believe what's coming. But I will say, I think it's going to be a good year for Fallout and Bethesda. And I just wanted to do a quick overview of some of the stuff looking ahead right here. So, first of all, we've got those Fallout Magic cards I mentioned coming out in March. In April, we've got the Fallout TV show, which, I mean, I could not be more excited about that. We all know what's going on there.
Wait. That April, that's actually kind of soon. Of this year.
April 12th. April 12th.
Wow. So they must be like done with it. If they like, what is the last month of a TV show after they record it before it airs? Like the last couple of months. Are they editing anymore? Is that all wrapped up and done too?
It varies based on the show. Sometimes they have a tight turnaround. More often they get it done a couple months ahead. This one, because of the writer's strike and actor strike, was a bit weird because they'd finished all the recording, but in order to get actors in for, overdubs and promotion and all that, they had to kind of put some of it off. So I have a feeling the majority of it has been in the can, aside from anything they needed to add for ADR, probably since last summer, since July, August. I mean, that's we don't know exactly, but yeah, they usually take several months to edit after, and then there's a turnaround. But anyway, that's going to be April 12th. And then of course, Fallout London coming out end of April. We talked about that last week. I believe it's the 24th off the top of my head. So super excited about that. Everything's looking great. There have been some more interviews with the Fallout London crew. I believe Dual Shockers, which is a site some people might know online, just did a talk with Prill and some of the crew over there. They're working on it hard, so that's great. I'm part of their Patreon and stuff too, so I've been trying to keep track of what's up, and it's amazing seeing what they turn out, how many items that they're building, and that last video, the quarterly update in December that we talked about a couple weeks ago, really got into just how large the game is. Which, if you didn't listen to that episode, it's essentially described as big as Fallout 4 and Far Harbor put together when you're talking about exterior and interior cells. So yeah, it's a full-ass game. Then coming up, we've got Atlantic City. Now, we don't know exactly when Atlantic City is going to be happening, but if you look at the community calendar, they have March as Atlantic City, America's Playground Update in Season 16. So that should come out in March before the TV show and before Fallout London. However, take it from your friend Jess and any of you who've been playing the game for a while, is when they put things on the calendar, but it doesn't have an exact date. Sometimes it gets pushed off a month or two. And I am curious if finishing up the extended expedition. So this is finishing the Atlantic City expedition with one more mission. And then, of course, the quests and free roam area for the factions. So a lot of these cool areas we saw that is essentially just, you can't really explore and hang out in besides doing the quests and wandering a bit after. They should be a fully realized area at that point. So that'll be coming up in March. So that's a big thing. And if not March, April or May, the spring. Then we've also got Fallout 4 Next Gen to look forward to, which we got the announcement end of December, like, hey, we're not going to get done this year, as we could tell, but it is still in the works, still coming up. And we expect it in the first half of next year. Are they going to hook it with the TV show? Maybe. That's what people think. But once again, it's Bethesda, and it could be delayed a little bit because they want to get it just right and ready. So, sometime this spring.
So January 2025?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I think more likely that they're going to try to get it out with the TV show and it'll be out before it's done.
Remind me what happened with Starfield. What was that? The release date? Oh, it got pushed back like 18 times for almost 2 years in total, right?
Twice. Got pushed back twice.
And
only
that's
10 months.
That's almost 18, and that's almost 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, their original date on their chart, they wanted it in 21. And then but they never said that officially. Then the announced date was, of course, November 11th, 2022. Got pushed back to first half of 2023. And then, of course, pushed back a second time, even though it didn't have a date, but they said first half, and it ended up being September. So, yeah.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, 100%. My goodness.
Jeez.
Well, speaking of outside the first half, so that's kind of the first half of the year for Fallout and Bethesda, but we got the announced map expansion coming to Fallout 76 in the second half of the year. I expect that's probably going to be the fall-winter update, like Nuke World. Like, it's going to be a big thing going to Shenandoah, probably in the second half of the year, but we don't know the exact dates on that yet. But that's exciting. And then for Bethesda in general, Starfield updates, the first big update for Starfield starting in February. And they say approximately every 6 weeks after that. And we already know everything on the list there, but a lot of cool things coming. Chances are, Creation Kit, they said early next year as well. So, now this year. So early this year, Creation Kit for mods. And of course, the actual creations, the mod store, mod interface and store, because free mods and paid mods are, integrated here with creations now, like they are in Skyrim. That'll be releasing with the Creation Kit first half of the year. So this is a lot. In my mind, this is a lot for Bethesda to all have kind of aiming in the March, April window. That's why I feel like a couple of them are going to be pushed. Because...
Yeah, depend on that.
Right. As a studio, they work as a full team. Even though they have separate teams split off now, you've got mostly Double 11 and BGS Austin on 76 and stuff. They always, when it comes to rollouts and stuff like that, they tend to support each other and, the PR department, this and that, like they only do so much at once. So we'll see. But we've got that. And then there's still on the books, and how we got a lot of credence to it, the possible Oblivion remaster and Fallout 3 remaster. And
wait, like simultaneously?
So not simultaneously, but they're both coming, and we don't know. They are both most likely coming. So you remember the whole saga on how we got the information on this, right? That initially it came through some forum leaks, an employee of studio that does a lot of assistance and remasters and stuff. I think it's Virtuous Studios, the name of the studio. Yeah, Virtuous. They have a couple of, they're Singapore-based, but they work in Europe and a few other places. And he said, the studio I was with and have just left are working on an Oblivion remaster or remake. Hasn't been decided yet. This is like late last spring, early last summer. And we're like, really? Okay, we need more information than that, than a thread that was put and then quickly deleted. But there was credence to it because it was proven that he was a former employee of that company at least. So I wasn't making that part up. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is when we first hear about Oblivion Remaster. So we're like, okay, maybe, who knows? Media ran with it. But then during the Activision, Blizzard,
media.
Microsoft merge, buyout, however you want to put it, after that had kind of concluded, but they were still uploading documents, we had the day when they meant to upload a small deposition document and instead uploaded like 80 pages of confidential Microsoft and Bethesda documents. And in that was the ZeniMax management forecast from 2020. And that outlined kind of their expected roadmap for the entire Bethesda company, not just Bethesda Game Studios, but all their studios, Tango and Arcane and everybody, id. And so that roadmap had a bunch of stuff on it that actually, was their actual plans. And on their actual plans, they had originally planned in 2020 that by the end of 22, they would have an Oblivion remaster on this list. And by the end of 24, they would have a Fallout 3 remaster on this list. Now, being acquired, pandemic, everything got put back 2 years. But if you take the list that we got and you move it all 2 years later, everything has come out that was said. The Doom Eternal and DLC, Fallout Wastelanders, Deathloop. Then obviously, originally by end of 21 and now by end of 23 was Starfield, Redfall, Ghostwire Tokyo. All these things happened. Some of them even happened earlier. So these all happened. Well, the next up on the list for 22, which you would now think might be 24 if the 2 years holds true, 2 years delayed, Indiana Jones game. Oblivion Remaster, Starfield DLC. Well, we know we're getting Starfield DLC. We know they're working on the Indiana Jones game now, if not this year. So Oblivion Remaster, really possible. Sorry, that's my little fact checking for you. I told Ray I was going to go YouTube on us for that. I was going to go like all YouTuber conspiracy theory.
Okay. My next question is, will a remaster make a game fun?
Oblivion is already fun, and some people may say it is actually the best Elder Scrolls game. On polls taken by real life people, there are people who will actually vote Oblivion above Skyrim.
No, I thought Oblivion was a jolly good time. I'm more talking about that other game that's lumped in there.
Fallout 3?
Yeah, will that ever be fun? Will that make a fun game?
So
3?
come on, you got into it in our playthrough for a bit there. I think here's the thing about you and Fallout 3, which you enjoyed the second playthrough more than the first when you've got the camera figured out.
I did.
At the time we were playing it, while you got into it, you were also deep, like me, into the throes of Fallout 76. That was what we did. That was what we played.
Mm-hmm. So I felt like I was being cheated. I was being pulled away from my one true love.
This is what I'm saying. I think that if we go back to Fallout 3, it may grab you even more this time. I don't know. I don't know.
Goodness. Well, New Vegas 3, Tactics, the classics.
But I do personally think that while the Fallout 3 remaster was listed there, and that does make it more likely than it had been in the past, that it would be the second one, and it would be kind of contingent on, if the Oblivion remaster does well, so done by the same studios. Now, if they're done by different people, and they're being worked on simultaneously but separately, that's what we don't know, because we don't actually know. Everything we know about the possibility of Fallout 3 was through this leak, whereas Oblivion had multiple points of data.
Just make it available on Switch, please. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you do.
And then for just talking about how great the year is going to be, quite possibly, beyond everything with Starfield and these games and remasters and big mods and all that, mobile games. We got the Skyrim Castles mobile game for a bit that only some of us got to try, and it still needed some work, in my opinion, but people who were playing it enjoyed it. So we may get the Fallout Shelter version of Elder Scrolls coming out with that. And on the list of stuff, they had other secret mobile games under code names. So we may get a mobile game or two, including that one this year. And, there may be secrets too. We know, I don't want to get too deep into speculation because we could forever and it's silly. What'll happen will happen. But yeah, a number of the studios under Bethesda's umbrella have possible projects on the side. So
any chance any of those secret mobile games could be Shelter Online?
Yeah, big chance.
Sweet.
Especially with the license being changed and the company that was doing Fallout Shelter Online no longer developing it, just supporting it. Yeah, there are reasons to think that it could be.
That makes me happy.
Yep. And Lee and they're talking about the student may be doing the Oblivion remake uses a system that redoes the graphics, retaining original programming for how the systems work. So it should be Oblivion with improved graphics. Exactly, Lee. Essentially,
Apologize, had to get it in there.
The rumor is that if Virtuous is doing this, they are doing it with an Unreal rendering layer and the Gamebryo engine at the time. They weren't even creation yet. Gamebryo underlayer and calculation, and then of course they can tweak individual parts to improve the game as they decide throughout doing it. But yeah, it should be super fun. So my only other thing under Guanavitz that amused Andrew when I typed it was just Reddit LOL, because Reddit be Redditing.
Absolutely. They always be Redditing. What are they Redditing about today? I
opened up, Fallout Reddit like I do, and I went to the Fallout TV subreddit. Okay, the one looking for the TV show, because
nice.
That's the big thing people are excited about. I'm looking for any news or info people have, and right on the front page, upvoted within the past week, we have these following headlines. 1. The NCR may or may not be in the show, with a bunch of upvotes. Next headline, Fallout show, explaining the NCR absence and BOS resurgence. And the next headline in a row, the NCR will be in the show. And then another one, then my favorite of the group, hot take, I don't care about the lore. and if the NCR is in the show.
That was kind of like my next question. Is New Vegas canon? I always forget. Did that shit happen or no?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It actually
I mean,
did. Okay.
everything in the games, in the actual release games published by Bethesda is canon unless they say otherwise. And they've said so far that, essentially the TV show will be. And some things in Fallout 1 and 2, I mean, essentially, obviously, they all are and should be, except for where they've been disregarded, because that's something that can change over time. But
okay. They got a hair up their ass about how New Vegas is the best Fallout game, so I know they love to not include it into this, so I didn't know if it was actually canon or not.
Yeah, no, definitely canon.
Okay.
And some fans, New Vegas fans in particular, but of the early games would also say it's more canon because you've got Fallout 1 and 2 and then New Vegas following on, and those are the most canon because they were done more by the original developers of Fallout.
Well, Westworld Season 1 fucking kicked so much ass and was such a wonderful show that I have a ton of hope for the first season of the show. Now, also, Westworld has taught me that this production company loses fucking direction like crazy immediately.
Season 2 and 3 may.
Season 2 or 3 may not be awesome, but I'm very excited to see Season 1.
And past shows by, we talk about person of interest. That actually got better in Season 2 and 3 and refocused, and that was by Kilter Films as well.
Great. All right.
Yeah.
That's good.
As long as they don't double down on nudity and violence. I mean, well, not there's anything wrong with that, but I think that's where Westworld went wrong. They're like, oh, we need to do more of that. And story,
I like violence is awesome when done in a almost slapstick way that Tarantino would handle it. So like over the top. But I don't love like realistic violence. You know what I mean? His is almost comic book comedic violence the way it's overdone. You know what so it's not real to me. But
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the realistic violence.
But yeah, Reddit LOL. So under all those ones I just read, here's another one. Why are y'all making such weird assumptions off a 90-second teaser? This was from You Vault Girl 2, and she said the NCR isn't going to be in the show. Bethesda's going to make New Vegas non-canon and other such nonsense. I'm going to go on a limb and say NCR will definitely be in the show, but just because they don't have anyone in the first teaser trailer say we are in the Boneyard in the New California Republic, run by the NCR doesn't mean anything. So yeah, she's jumping into saying that. It's hilarious watching everybody going back and forth on this. And I think the best way to look at it, while speculation is fun, is like this Redditor here. You Girl School fan. Oh, interesting name. You Girl School fan had this comment. We won't know till April. All theorizing is based on nothing than the behind-the-scenes photos, and please let it remain Schrodinger's faction for like 4 months. Yes, the Schrodinger's faction. Let's go. But I bet the NCR will be in it too. I mean, they have to be, right? But if they're not, I think we'll be okay. We'll figure it out.
Is Moira Brown in Season 1?
It's only, if you look at the timeline, it would be about 19 years after Fallout 3, approximately, because it's about 9 years after Fallout 4. So 19 years of Fallout 3, and especially if she was ghoulified, yes, she could make the trek. Why not? She hitched a ride. She hitched a ride with the Fallout 4 Brotherhood.
She came over.
If some of them went over out west.
You think we'll see Graham's origin story?
No, I think Graham is probably dead.
Damn it.
Sorry, you guys. I should have warned you to get tissues first. I imagine Graham is dead by the time of the TV show.
Yeah, probably. Wait,
I'm so
how long
sorry.
do super mutants live? Can't they live a couple hundred years? Aren't they like ghouls?
As far as we know, they can live a long while, yeah. And they might even continue to evolve and mutate if with exposure and certain situations. But let's be real. A lot of super mutants have a bloody end before too long.
Wait, we haven't seen their design for super mutants yet, have we? I'm excited to see that. Oh, that's going to be cool.
Well, we don't know if there are even going to be any super mutants in the show.
Oh, come on.
There may not be. There may not be.
What?
We haven't seen them. That's all. So you can't say one way or another. We don't know if there will be a Deathclaw. We don't know if there will be a super mutant.
That would be as ridiculous as not putting super mutants in Fallout Shelter. Oh, wait a second.
I think you should write a Reddit thread about this, and Andrew, you seem very worked up. This is exciting.
How on earth could you make a Fallout show without super mutants? Come on, people. Think about it.
As far as the lifespan, we know some mutants created under the Master were still alive by the time of New Vegas. Okay, so, we're looking at 150 years or so. Well, actually, at that point, I haven't done the math, but yeah, around that. And so we know that they can live for a long time if they do. Now, that's West Coast mutants too. Can the more imperfect mutants live as long? Maybe. But like I said, they usually reach a bloody end before too long.
Were there many super mutants in New Vegas? They were mainly Nightkin, right? That we ran into?
Well, no, we had a lot of regular mutants up, if you go to the kind of Haven. So, I mean...
Jacobstown.
Yeah, Jacobstown. Thank you. I was trying to remember the inn area, the snowy area.
Yeah, there was both there.
West. Yep. It's a good mix. And I mean, you meet Marcus coming in, and Marcus isn't like, Marcus is a super mutant. And he's there going up to Rhonda. Now, Rhonda's Nightkin, though, right? At Black Mountain?
Yes.
Okay. I think so. And that's why she was going moderately mad.
Right. And Grandma or something? Someone's up there like that, right? Who's that?
Oh, yeah. She's at Jacobstown. Yeah, that's Lily. And Lily is Nightkin.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mix of them. But Nightkin were just, a kind of like the upper tier of the super mutants originally with the way that they were created. But there were some negative side effects to their continued use of stealth boys and other things. Severe paranoia and such.
I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. So
All
that's
right.
it for my iguana bits.
I'm saying there's 100% chance of super mutants being in the first season. Now, I'm saying, what is the percentage of a Nightkin fucking walking in a scene? That's about like a 10% chance.
What if they go Nightkin instead of super mutants? Because what if they be like, okay, this would be a bit cheesy, trying to create a super mutant up close and having one as a character, but maybe with the Nightkin with their stealthiness, they could have them just on screen briefly and barely and causing a ruckus.
Dude, have you seen what Marvel can do with the Incredible Hulk? Their super mutants are going to look awesome. They're going to be really cool looking. Come on.
What if they just used the Thanos model?
What
if just made him green?
What if it was Lou Ferrigno dressed up as a super mutant?
Yes, please. That sounds great to me.
Yeah, he still comes to Dragon Con.
That's awesome. Have you met him?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool, Ray. I've heard really nice things about Lou.
Yeah, super nice guy. He walks through the halls, going between hotels and stuff across the Sky Bridge.
I've heard he's a big nerd himself too. Like he's all into this stuff. Very good. Did we have?
So Moira's still around.
Mm-hmm.
So the Fallout TV show is set in 2296.
Right. So only 19 years after Fallout 3.
And Moira Brown, September 10th of 2297, writes a terminal entry.
Oh, okay.
About the legacy of the Lone Wanderer. So
where is that referenced? I've heard it referenced before, but don't remember.
It doesn't say where the terminal is.
Was that a postscript? Like how do we discover that?
It's in the timeline.
It's in the Wasteland Survival
timeline.
It's the Wasteland Survival Guide. Didn't you read that page?
No, but they don't have the future in there. But yeah. I actually remember seeing that timeline somewhere, right? So that makes sense. Anyway, Moira will be around, and we even don't know the setting of the Fallout TV show. Not to go completely off track here, but while it is going to be primarily, Los Angeles and that area there with Philly and Santa Monica Pier and all that, because there's going to be flashbacks, most likely from the point of the Ghoul character Cooper, and because we're going to see 3 stories coming together, we may see East Coast and other locations too.
Okay.
Like, we just don't know. We've only got a 90-second trailer so far, right? 2-minute trailer.
I'm predicting not even in season 1, not even in season 2, but the last episode of season 2, they're going to introduce a synthetic human, and season 3 will be all about the Institute.
Can you imagine?
They already did the robot thing, though. You know what I mean? The Westworld was all about synthetic humans and robots and stuff.
It was very much combining.
They already did all that. Never mind. That's a dumb idea. Scratch that. Don't do that, guys.
Doesn't mean we won't see some kind of synth, though. I mean, it's 90s to fall for. Even if, the Institute went down, there are still plenty of synths out there in the world.
All right, we need to start a goddamn bingo card or something. We need to turn this into a game. Like our predictions of what's going to appear in the first season.
Yep.
And we need to have like different categories. Like we need to have like a category of locations, a category
we'll
of
do that in February or March. We'll have a prediction episode
like food
right up a card.
items, and this will be really fun. This will be a good game. Have a category card of predictions and stuff. That's a really good idea.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
Don't let us forget, people. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kind of wraps up the show for me. I don't have much else. I mean, got a couple of shouts maybe, but...
Yeah. Ray, you have anything else you'd like to mention tonight?
No, I'm good to go.
When you got another Skyrim addict for us?
It's a good question. Everybody's been out of town, so hopefully
I thought I heard
all
chatter.
come together soon.
Yeah, I thought I heard chatter of you guys maybe recording again soon, but all right. Well, you can find her over there on the Twitter at SleepIs4T. Also, you Wastelanders, and at Dames Who Game. Jess, thanks so much for hopping on tonight.
It's been great, and big shout out. Our Christmas video just broke 300 views last night. So I was like,
nice. I forgot our shout outs too. Sorry.
I was like, which one's going to get to 300 views first? Is it going to be Shakespeare's Coriolanus, or is it going to be our Fallout Christmas song? And Christmas song handily beat it. Coriolanus is at like 295, 296. It was close, but
well, I think that's an investment of time issue more than anything. You know what I mean? Like, to watch a quick rock video is one thing, but to watch a whole,
that's why I definitely expected the song too. But it was kind of a personal challenge that I was like watching, like, which one will hit 300 views first, and watching the one slowly creep and the other quickly creep. So
kudos on the video again, really good job. I put that in the link.
Kudos on our singers.
I put the link on the top of the show notes last week. I'll do that again this week. If you still haven't checked out Jess's video, look down below in your show notes here on this episode.
Just a lot of good community stuff. But yeah, while we're doing shouts then, do you have your finger ready on the Mo button? Because we have at least one scorecation shout out.
Oh my God, people are already scorecationing. Yes, let's do it.
Yeah, a bunch of our friends already scorecationed end of December. But earlier this week, Nana Janet scorecation.
Oh, good job, Nana Janet. Enjoy your scorecation. Perfect.
I think a lot of our friends in chat will probably by next week with all the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. Hope so.
That I've heard about. So Mo better warm up and get ready. Could be a lot of shouting.
Hey Mo, loosen up those vocal cords, bud.
Scorecation!
Good job.
Also, just a shout out to Clint. Clint, he's like, what did I do? No, shout out to Clint for sharing some of the photos he's been sharing in the Facebook group. Like, he's been doing an end of month kind of photo dump the last 3 months, which has been great. Like, I've done it a couple times too, but like, just really loved the last batch. Really fun. And he shared a picture earlier today of his character in a cool Starborn. Sorry, this is Starfield, but of his character in a cool Starborn outfit with a ship behind him. It's like a ruby red ship now, kind of cherry red, like a really kind of cool looking. Awesome. So shout out to Clint's photos.
Thank you, Clint. Good job.
And everybody sharing Starfield photos. Solior, of course, and all of our friends. Like, I'm glad to see that while this Starfield has been a little bit, shall we say, embattled in the press the last month and a half, which Ray says, just ignore that, Jess. Okay, but it's been a bit embattled. And it's been hard. Someone spends a lot of time on social media seeing it put down so much. We're getting a little bit of bounce back after the embattlement. And I'm seeing community rally again a little bit and a little bit more positivity around it. So yes, please. And hopefully the updates continue to turn that around for people.
The community to rally. Beautiful. All right, so I kind of already did your introductions, Jess. Thanks so much for hopping on. Ray can be found at RayLB and at BBCISSS for all of your No Man's Sky needs. Ray, thanks so much for hopping on.
Good times.
I can be found at Indie Android. The show is at the Fallout Feed. I'd like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout Feed, and we will see you in the Wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the Wasteland.
We've got a fresh heaping today.
What's the point of having a brig if you can't lock people up in it? Drool-inducing.
I end up weighing 3,000, 4,000 pounds, waddling to my ship, taking damage.
Round and around Serpentis.
I fully explored everything there. Oh, flora's abundant and fauna. Oh, I got a few levels grinding myself.
I got super excited. Keep out, authorized personnel only.